Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexiot's here, and it is Wednesday, right? Wednesday, and it's the Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, right? Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. And the Raptors beat the Miami Heat last night for the second time in 2 weeks, and we're going to react to it today. That's what we're doing today on the stream. So the number is open. If you have the number to call the show, you're welcome to call me today, and we can talk about this game today. And yeah, I got a little Christmas cheer next to me here. Look at that. You see my tree? That's my Christmas tree. Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum. Why was Masai sitting next to them? Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum. We love Ujiri, hire him. We think he should come back to be in charge of the Raptors, you see. Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum. Masai's aura was in there. That's right. That's right. Masai, bring in the aura. I wonder if Masai's been watching the Raptors for a couple weeks now, and since RJ's been out, he's been like, "No, this ain't right," and he had to come down there. In some ways, it might have been intimidating for the Raptors to see their former boss sitting right next to the bench with his son watching the game. And like, why is Masai here? Oh no, he loves you guys. He wants to see what's going on with you guys. It was all love. And I have a couple theories for why Masai was there last night. I have a couple theories. Yeah. Some of them very good. Some of them very, very good. Some of them a little bit maybe fishy, maybe a little worrisome, but otherwise, most of it was very good. I think he's actually just there to celebrate Christmas with the guys. Seriously, you don't become unfamily just because a oligarch billionaire prick tells you that you're not working here anymore. That doesn't change you from being family. And if these Raptors are doing Christmas together in Miami, well, Masai's probably doing Christmas with them. What's wrong with that? He wants to come and have a dinner and hang out with the team that he built and be around them. There's nothing wrong with that. The other theory I have is that Masai Ujiri's son is a huge Raptors fan, and he's just being a good dad. He's like, "Dad, can we go watch the Raptors? I love the Raptors. I miss going to games." All right, we'll go. We'll go. We'll go and we'll sit right next to them. Oh, really, Dad? Yeah. And you know what? I know you already know all them, but we'll go say hi. Could it be that? Could it be that Masai's there for that? Could it be that Masai is just kind of doing a big middle finger to Ed Rogers III, saying, "You know what? You can't take me away from the Raptors because in some ways I'll be there for them no matter what. And I'll show you. I'll buy a ticket as a citizen and sit in the front row." In some ways, what he did last night's a very WCW Monday Nitro move, like Raven sitting at courts at the ringside. Like, why is Raven here? Why is Raven here? Raven's at ringside. What is he here for? Raven. What about Raven? Yeah, it's some like a wrestler who's not officially working for the company comes and sits down in the front row and is watching the wrestling for the night. Yeah, like Stone Cold gets fired by Vince McMahon and he just like buys a ticket as a citizen and he's sitting in the front row. This guy kind of had that vibe. I wasn't sure it was him at first, which was really interesting. I saw him for a brief second. I was like, wait, is that Masai? And then I was like squinting and trying to see him from the camera angles. I even think that the broadcast was trying not to show him at times because maybe they didn't want to anger Ed Rogers or something like that. But like over time, I was like, man, trust your instincts, Lex. That is Masai. Because I called it real early. I was like, man, I don't want to be wrong though. I don't want to be like, is that Masai? Like that looks like Masai. And like in some ways, it's not even just looking at the person, it's the aura. Like you can feel his aura. Like you can see, wait, the way he moves. That looks very Masai. The way he's moving, the way he's holding his arms like this, and he has his little thing with his wrist, and way he sits like this. I was like, wait, that's Masai, man. I study body movements. I can look at physical fingerprints of people and the way they move their body and understand who they are from a distance. That's part of the reason why I'm so good at watching basketball and understanding players. And I was like, that is Masai. But I wasn't sure. We were in the Raptor Freak chat. It was like, is that Masai? Is that Masai? We didn't get it confirmed. And then William Lou put it out there. Masai sitting next to the bench. And then they showed him up close a little bit more, but they didn't want to put him on blast too much. Like I said, they don't want to anger the boss, right? It was Sportsnet that was broadcasting last night. It was Rogers. It's weird, man. My other theory about Masai being there is more nefarious as far as like maybe he's doing a Shamshe or a Koloko where he's got to come and say goodbye one last time before he takes a new job. And if it is a new job, maybe it's where he was sitting in that city down there. I don't want him to work for the Miami Heat. But if this is a signal that, yeah, I'm going to be moving on to this, and I don't want Raptors fans to think I'm not with them anymore, I don't know. I have no idea what to think. Mark Carney has been in Masai's company a lot recently. And he's been around the Canadian government. He's been doing all kinds of stuff. He's a mover. He's a shaker. He's a power player. I don't know, man. In some ways, Masai would break our hearts if you did go work for another company. But I understand you got to do what you do. And in some ways, I don't know. I think you're bigger than the NBA at this point. But man, the Masai effect. Yeah. In some ways, having that man sitting right there, you're not going to lose because you got the heart and soul of the Toronto Raptors franchise back all of a sudden for a one-time appearance, maybe more. I don't know. I would love that. And in some ways, it's like, look, he has a direct linkage to every single guy that got on the court for the Raptors last night, and Darko and everybody. I mean, it even seemed like at the beginning of the game, they just noticed Masai was there, and all of a sudden, people from the staff of the Raptors team and the players were coming over and saying hi to him. I mean, Norman's there. Norman's playing for the Miami Heat. I'm sure he comes and talks to Masai and says nice things to him because he has so much that he can be thankful towards him for. Yeah, it's just weird, man. I love the timing. I love the power. I love the aura. I love the aura. Oh my gosh, Masai. Man, can he just come and show up like Raven at every match and just show up and be sitting there? Because, man, that's powerful stuff. Powerful, powerful stuff. Of course, we got to react to a game yesterday, a big game, a game that was very similar to the game last week where we are both on the same losing streak, 2-game losing streak. And it's the Miami Heat, and we're in Miami. And the Miami Heat are, man, you know what says it all about the Miami Heat? Just the camera shots of Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is a tortured man. Oh my gosh, he looked so tortured last night. Every time they showed Eric Spoelstra, he looked like he was about to burst out crying. He was just like, my team, I don't know what to do. I mean, it is kind of crazy. Bam, I don't know what's going on with Bam. That dude, he seems washed. Something's wrong with him, man. There's so much pedigree on the other side as far as like experience. You got champions and Norman and Andrew. You've got Bam Adebayo, who's been a franchise player for that team for how long now? There's so much that should be going right for them, but it isn't. And it's the kind of thing that's like, well, this team isn't built right to win. There's some major flaws with it. I don't know if having Tyler Hero at the game is enough to make them a good team. But man, they are bad. And I will say this, Raptors, you're lucky you played the Miami Heat last night. Because if you play the way y'all played last night, you're going to lose to a lot of the other Eastern teams. You can't play that bad and get away with it against New York, Boston, maybe even Orlando. We'll find out. Thank God they're sloppy and they can't shoot themselves. Seriously. And this is my first statement to the Raptors and the leadership of the Raptors, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Emmanuel Quickley. You guys set the tone. You guys are the leaders. And when y'all play carelessly, when y'all have dumb turnovers, when y'all are not playing exactly sharp, it is part of the reason why the rest of the team looks so bad. So I put this on you guys. Will you tighten up? Will you play better? Because y'all are sometimes chaotic, sometimes careless, and sometimes just making very poor decisions. And these are things you guys got to tighten up because you're the leaders. You're the guys who go out there. And Scotty, kudos to you, man. You were a huge leader last night and leading this team to a win. And that's the kind of leadership I want to see. But there's so much that y'all need to clean up still too, because it's just careless, stupid shit. Honestly, it's stuff that is absolutely unnecessary, and if you clean that shit up, then you will be able to compete with Boston and New York. But you won't be able to until you get that shit cleaned up. I'm going to say this right now. Just careless errors, dumb turnovers. Brandon, you are a fantastic offensive weapon that can do all kinds of great things for us. But at times, man, you frustrate the hell out of me with just apathy and kind of just like, I just dribbled the ball off my foot. It's out of bounds. Shit like that. And IQ, you're getting, you know what? You're playing an all round game right now, and it's fantastic. I'm appreciating it. But you know what? There was a moment last night, IQ, where you and Davion had a little back and forth. You actually drove to the basket and got fouled by Davion. The referees, it was dubious whether you got fouled, and Davion was very adamant that he didn't foul you, but you got the foul and you got the foul shots, and Davion was pissed. Mitchell got mad, and he came down the other end of the court and he bombed a three and made it. Well, Emmanuel immediately, very determinedly, came down the other way and made a shot along the baseline, a little teardrop, drop it in. And he did that with such a purpose because he switched into another mode. He kind of told on himself. It's like, Emmanuel, you got into it with Dave. And it was a little bit, but you wanted to show him up. So you got really determined. And then you went and scored at will. Like, wait a second, Emmanuel. If you could get so pissed off in that moment to make sure that you're going to go get a basket no matter what, because you're going at it with Davion Mitchell and you're feeling like, oh, I got to show him up, you should be able to do this more often in the game. Now, I know maybe some people are saying critically, you're chucking too much. You're taking too many shots. Your shots are too wild. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? We still got to get you to score. We still got to get you to be money, putting buckets in. Because I see you balancing out things, and I appreciate that. And like Emmanuel said in the interview after the other game the other day against Brooklyn, he's got to try and get his guys. He's got to try and get the ball to other people. Scotty, the biggest critique I have for you with your leadership is you're still making weird decisions with where you're throwing the ball to on offense. One thing I've noticed with the Raptors is they'll get in a play set and they'll start running the play set, and the other team knows what we're doing. So they crowd the eventual person the ball's going to land on, which is usually a guy in the post like Brandon or Scotty who's down there. But they've already set the play, and that's how it has to go. Why isn't there plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D in these play sets? Because you guys are high-level basketball players, and trying to force plays just because that's the play set and that's the primary player that the play set should be going to is not right. They're taking that shit away from us, and we're having bad turnovers because you guys are forcing plays as the play set dictates, but not reading, hey, maybe I should do plan B. Maybe I should do plan C in this situation because the defense of the other team is very much in the vicinity of where we're trying to go. And I get it. You can beat people in the double in the post sometimes, Scott. You very much can power through two defenders in the post like that. But the biggest problem is getting the ball to you or Brandon when you guys are shadowed by a double team and that is ready to pounce. They know exactly what you're going to do, and they're going to mess that up, and they're going to get a turnover on you, and they're going to run the other way. So why can't we analyze instantly in seconds, because y'all are basketball players and you know how to do this, that maybe plan A is not the go for that time down the court because of the defense really knowing exactly what we're doing? Because I feel like we're forcing our play sets through the defense already knowing what we're doing, and it's so hard to do. It's like Grady trying to go against two defenders on a fast break. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Like, why you do that? Have better decision making. And in the moment, it may be that plan A is what you're supposed to do, but you know what? Sometimes plans don't go according to the way you want, and you may need to think about plan B or C as far as the other options than the main option the play set is designed for, because we're getting telegraphed too easily. The other team is absolutely getting success on defense from us forcing things with a very stubborn, we're pushing this through. This is what we're doing on this offensive set. Stop doing that. If you are getting crowded down low, Scott, if you got good position and you could get it cleanly and hold them off, great. But if there is shakiness, if there's a guy kind of sticking around to seagull that pass, vulture it, come through and take it, look the other way, whoever's trying to pass it. Don't just try and force your play set because that's supposed to be what it's supposed to be. Just because this is the how many touches Brandon has to get, or this is how Scotty's got to get in the post because he's open because he's got a little guy on him. If it's not there, it's not there. And you have to read it that quickly in the millisecond and say, all right, plan A is not working. Y'all are forcing shit. And in some ways, it looks really bad. And sometimes you guys are so badass, you can force it through all that and be successful. But more often than not, you guys are forcing something and it's causing a turnover. And I really feel like this is a really easy way to clean things up. It's like, sometimes you got to go plan C. Sometimes you got to go plan B. Sometimes you got to go plan D. I mean, there's 5 guys on the court. And if you're the guy with the ball passing, well, Scotty in the post is plan A. But there's got to be a plan B and a plan C and a plan D when the defense knows exactly what we're about to do. That's I got to say it right there. Yeah, man. All right, let me check in with y'all in the chat. We got our stars of the game. We got the straight goods on Canadian goods. We got the Instagram stories. We got all the fun stuff, the regular segments on the show. You guys like my Christmas tree? I actually went festive. And you see, I brought the old NBA Finals 2019 Game 1, We the North flag that I earned at the first ever finals game in Canadian soil at the Scotiabank Arena when the Raptors beat the Golden State Warriors in Game 1 of the 2019 NBA Finals. I won this. I was sitting maybe 4 rows from the very top row in the arena, and I was loud as hell. And I was so loud at that Game 1. The Spirit Squad that gives out the shirts and all that stuff, the dude literally walked up to me. He didn't throw it to me. He walked up to me because I was so loud at that game and handed me this full side flag. He said, you just get this. You just get this. So I'm very proud of this flag. This flag represents the 2019 championship, and it represents the Game 1 victory over the Golden State Warriors when Aubrey Drake wore the 30 of Dale Curry in the front row of that game. It was one of the most epic, amazing games in the history of the Raptors. That's right. So, yeah, that's what that symbolizes. So, yeah, let me see what y'all are saying. Trevor J., Commissioner Fun, was in the house last night at the game in Miami, and he said he brought 20 of his friends there, and they were loud, and I swear I heard them. I swear I heard them in the beginning of the fourth quarter. There was voices chanting, let's go Raptors, let's go Raptors. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, right when it started, I heard that chorus going like that. And I was like, man, I wonder if that's Trevor. I wonder if that's Trevor. And you know what? It probably was. It was him and his friends getting loud and rowdy in Miami at Casilla Center for us, the RFF in effect. And thank you, Commissioner Fun. Thank you for going down there with the vibes. And once again, bringing another victory out of the South Beach, doing your part in your region, my guy. That is a Raptors super fan, Trevor Jones. He travels with the team and he goes to games all across the United States for us, representing the RFF. And, well, he's 2 for 2 because he went yet last week too, and we got both these games against Miami done. So good job, Trevor. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, my friend. If you keep choosing comfort, don't complain about the result. We live in a world where everybody should be able to live comfortably. We have abundance, but there's evil people out there that want to create scarcity and make people suffer. If we had a just world, everybody's needs would be taken care of, and we can do that. It's just that there's assholes in this world, and we have to understand that. Now, can we change this in the new world order that's coming next? Maybe. There's a chance. If the people really want to take the power, we can make the world we want in the new era. And why wouldn't we want to have that? Well, some people think there's too many people on the planet, and they want people to die. If y'all know who Thomas Malthus is, go check out his philosophies. There's some very evil billionaires that share his views. And it's basically like, we want people to die. We think people should die. And I mean, some of the politics of things that are going on in the States right now are very evident. They do want people to die. So, man, I want everybody to live comfortably. I want everybody to live comfortably. I want every person to get that right and that ability in the world, not just on this continent, everywhere. because in some ways, as humankind, we're failing if we don't do that because we have the means to do it. It's just that we have the wrong priorities. And that's what I say to that. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. And yeah, we'll just have to see what's next. Yeah, Aubrey, we'll just have to see what's next. That's right. Trevor's saying this: the first time we beat Miami Heat, I was there with two friends. Second time we won, I had 20 people, friends and family. It was so nice to see Masai at the game and Larry. I didn't see Larry Tenenbaum exactly myself, but I wouldn't guess that he would be there. I bet he would. And like I said, they're doing a thing where the Raptors are going to do Christmas down there. And I don't blame them. They don't have to come back to Toronto. Don't come back to Toronto. Some of them may come back to Toronto for various reasons, but more likely they're going to be down there. Now, are they going to take off today and go to their family places, wherever they're from, in different places? Colin Murray Bowles goes to South Carolina. Elijah goes back to Mississippi, stuff like that. Scotty's already home because the game was in Miami and he can just hang out with his mom. Is Scotty going to do something where he's the host? And any Raptors and their friends and family that want to be celebrating Christmas with them will be there with him at his home with his family. There's probably a likelihood that that's happening too. But yeah, these guys play in Washington on Friday, and they're going to probably take a break from the winter of Toronto and Canada. And there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't see Larry, but if Larry was there, that's cool. But yeah, man, Masai, you're a badass, man. I knew it was your aura. I should have not doubted myself. I was like, I don't want to be an idiot and be like, oh, that's Masai, that's Masai. But it's just some guy who looks like him. He can look like a real jerk for that. But no, I was right. And I need to trust my instincts. That's one thing I've learned the most this year is I need to trust my instincts because I'm often very on point. It's crazy. Trevor's saying this. Darko's interview, he said Ingram asked him to leave Battle in the fourth quarter. Ingram asked him to leave Battle in? Well, that's smart. It seems like, look, when I went to the coaches open house and I asked that question to the coaches, and Coach Evo told me we play the players in the rotation and the minutes they get by their contracts. I was like, man, that kind of sucks because in some ways you're predetermining everything. And there's really, where's the motivation to be better if it's already like, yeah, you just get paid this and this is how many minutes you're going to get and you're this place in the rotation. I don't like that. I think that to have a competitive team and to get the best out of your team, you should have a merit system where if your guys are playing better than other guys, they should play more. I don't care how much they get paid because in some ways that's holding us back right now. The idea that we have to play guys by how they're paid, that's ridiculous. Some people are calling that we should start Shed over Quickly, but can we do that because Quickly makes so much money more than Shed? I don't know. Some people are saying Jamison Battle should be playing way more than Grady Dick and Jacoby Walter. And I mean, they make a good case. So I don't know, man. In some ways, Darko, Raptors, Bobby Webster, assistant coaches, you guys may need to amend this because you may get way more competitive basketball out of our guys if you're doing it more on merit. If you really are giving minutes and letting guys play on merit. Because, man, some of this stuff is it's getting sad. It's getting messed up. I mean, I can understand Jacoby Walter having a sophomore slump, but Grady Dick, what the hell is going on right now, man? What the hell is going on? For every one good play you have two embarrassing plays otherwise. And, man, you need to start hitting threes. I don't even remember. I mean, when you hit a three, it's just like, oh, my gosh, Grady hit a three. It used to be so commonplace that we wouldn't even think a big deal of it. But at this point, when Grady hits a three, it's like it's a momentous celebration. Oh, Grady hit a three. Oh, my gosh. It should never been like that. It should have been like the day turns into night and the night turns to day. Grady Dick makes 3-point shots. So it's kind of crazy, man. So you're saying that Brandon requested that Darko play Jamison late in the game. Well, I like that. And in some ways, this is what I'm talking about right now. Jamison is playing better than the other guys. Let him play in the fourth. And that's all the merit system has to be. It's like, look, guys, I'm going to play y'all at different times during the game. But if you show me something, you'll get the game minutes at the end of the game. And that's a reward for them to shoot for and to go above and beyond to try and get. But if it's just kind of like Grady, you're going to get to play 10 minutes every game no matter what. Go ahead and just go out there and just take a big pile of shit and dump on the middle of the court. Oh, okay. And you'll get to play the next game too. No, fuck that. In some ways, it's like, look, you guys have questioned whether Darko is too nice a guy. He's not holding people accountable. Well, Darko, I want to see, and I don't want you to hurt their confidence. You got to do this the right way. You may have to bench a guy for a game just to send a message. Like, seriously, why not? Why not? If you have to, do that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying here. Trevor's saying that the Nets beat the Sixers last night, and Joel Embiid got injured in the game. He injured his knee, and the Mavericks beat the Nuggets. A couple of news notes, and I will say this right now because we were talking about this last night when we saw that result, that the Brooklyn Nets defeated the Philadelphia 76ers, and then they are on a streak right now of winning. That people need to maybe understand losing to them on Sunday wasn't as bad as you thought. All right, here we go. We got the sheriff calling in from the Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We're going to go 4 quarters with Seymour Pape. Good morning, sir.
Yo, honestly, because we're doing some Christmas thing here and I got to set up some stuff, I can't be too long on the football. Okay. But a couple things I want to run by you.
Sure, man.
Last night wasn't a good win to me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That was a convincing win. I think the whole game, we looked better than them.
Yeah.
I thought at no point in the game did I think Miami was going to win. Like, even when they were making their runs, just the way the game was operated. But, like, if you're a real Raptor fan and you know, if you're a Stu like how you are, for you, it's probably like, I see better.
Yeah.
I know that we could do better than what you seen last night. But for me, what I seen in the game, I seen a convincing win. I think we should have beat up teams like Brooklyn and all that the same way. But like you said, the cards was against us with the fatigue and everything.
Yeah.
But I sort of like what I seen last night. It was a convincing win. At no point in the game did I feel like we were going to lose. Did you have that same feeling?
Yeah, I felt like we had a good chance to win that game. I thought in the beginning it was 50-50, but as soon as they took the court and I saw that really kind of Miami's offense is inept. Like, they have a hard time just scoring. And, well, we have the same problem, but we have a better time scoring than they do, which is crazy. And that's really it. Like, if you look at – this is another crazy thing about this. The 2 times we played Miami in the last 2 weeks, we've held them under 100 points. And those are the only 2 games this whole season that they've been held under 100 points, just so you know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and there's really no excuses. Like, so Hero's been out, right? So they're missing Hero, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, we could say we're missing Jakob and a ghost backup big, right? So there's no
RJ.
And RJ, yeah. So both teams are hindered. But like I said, it was clear cut. At no point in the game that I thought we were going to lose. I would love to see them in the playoffs because I know we beat them.
That's if they make the playoffs, honestly, the way things are going for them. That's if they make the playoffs. I mean, I want to get back to what you said originally in the call. You're saying that this was not totally a good win for them. And you know what? That's the way the NBA schedule is. It's like you're going to get wins where you get that W, but maybe it wasn't like, but there's going to be games where you absolutely kicked ass and you played really well, but you just came up short and got the L. So, I mean, we got to take the W either way, even if, like, in some ways it's like, look, we played sloppy at times. We didn't play right a lot of the game, but we played right enough to be better than them, and we won the game. So, yeah.
Do you like what you see out of Andrew Wiggins? Because I know you go in on our fellow Canadian a little hard on Wiggins. Do you like what you see from him or not?
I have a theory about some things. Like, all right, the Heat are very likable to me, partly because we have a lot of connections to them. We've got Norman, we've got Davion, we've got Andrew, and I love these guys. I love the Canadian Andrew Wiggins. I love the former Raptors. And, even Bam Adebayo as the main guy, he's a likable guy to me. He's not an asshole. He's not like Joel. And I would say this. Andrew Wiggins grew up on Raptors basketball. Norman Powell won a championship with the Raptors. And Davion Mitchell kind of revived his career through Toronto. They love Toronto. We got 3 guys on the other side, and I'm not saying they're double agents, but in some ways, they're get up and go to try and beat us. Is it as hard as it is to go up against the Knicks or the Celtics and how much they may feel things about them when they're playing the Raptors? And the thing I would say about Andrew is, and this is not a diss. In some ways, he's near the end of his career. We know this. He's been playing for a long time. It's just that I don't see the heart and the passion in him, and I haven't seen it for a few years now. That he could go way above and beyond what he's doing and be way more of a factor, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care, and that's my whole point about him. Is that like this dude could have been a factor, but Bam could have been one too last night, but they weren't.
So I have another question for you.
Yeah,
because there's certain situations that could pull your heart, and what I mean by pulling your heart is just drain you. So why I say that is I know there was a whole situation between Andrew Wiggins and his father, and something to do with the kid and all that. But I want to look at the fact that I thought he should have got the MVP of that finals that he won with the Warriors, but they gave it to Steph.
Yeah.
You know, and when you go all out and you put it all on the line, and you know, they like another person I think that's still not is OG. Like in that NBA, the Emirates Cup, he should have got the MVP, but they gave it to
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Right? Because it fits their storyline, their narrative, the soap opera.
It's the politics. It's the politics of the league, and them wanting to reward the face of the franchise or the one that they're marketing more is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can hinder a person's game because it's like, why am I going out there trying to break my neck for this organization? I know they're paying me a check, but at the end of the day, where's my reward? Where's my rewards, right? They're giving my rewards to somebody else.
And these are good points about Andrew. I want to say this. Andrew's had a very long career already. We've got to remember he had a long time in Minnesota, and he had ups and downs as a young player in his development. He had different levels where he got to, like with scoring and doing things consistently. Then he found himself in Golden State. And I think that you're exactly right, that he should have maybe possibly been considered for the MVP. And that also he had maybe one of his best years ever, and he hit his peak and won a championship. Now, is it possible that ever since then, especially with the distractions of his father's health and everything that happened, that he kind of got lost in the whole motivation to be in the league in a certain way? Because in some ways he got that ring, he got that accolade, and that he, in some ways, he's kind of like, yeah, now I'm just in the NBA, and I'm not going to say he's one of these guys that's just collecting checks, but in some ways, that's kind of what's going on here. I don't want to diss the guy because I like the guy. It's just that I really do feel like he's closer to the end of his career, and that in some ways he's on autopilot. You know?
Yeah. Well, yo, I gotta let you go because I got 15 bay doors that are all blocked, and I got a delivery here, and I can't even. This is crazy. I gotta let you go though. All
right, Sheriff, go regulate. That's right. He's gonna go lay down the law in the delivery bay. There you go, Sheriff Seymour Pape calling in from the province of Alberta to say hi this morning on the Raptor Freak channel. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. I love Andrew, and I was watching him last night, and I was like, yeah, man, I feel sad about Mitchell passing. Of course, great Mitchell Wiggins, who played in the NBA, who was Florida State, and and this is still pretty fresh. I mean, this is like he just passed away in like the last 2 years. So, man, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to diss Andrew, but I'm just saying, if I'm being real, that man should be at a different place in his career right now with his output, his consistency, and how much he's dominating the game. And in some ways, he's been that. You know what he kind of is? He's been you're standing at a train station waiting for the train to come that never comes. Is kind of like that, because there was a lot of expectations for Andrew Wiggins. There was a lot of possibility for how he could have grown and been a certain player in the league. And in some ways, he is disappointing because he didn't get to certain things and have a certain impact on the league like he could have possibly over his long career that he's already had. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Now, getting back to the Nets beat the Sixers. Raptors fans, do you see that they're not just the Brooklyn Nets that you can say, oh, we shouldn't be losing to them. They went and beat Nick and the Sixers last night. And, well, Joel Embiid got hurt, which is something I predicted. You know, it's easy to predict. Come on. Trevor's saying this. Colin Murray-Boyles had his first double-double. He was everywhere last night. He played very good. This is very true. Colin kind of had a level up game last night. And the main thing that I love about what he did, and this is what, listen, man, if we know one thing from our championship, board man gets paid. Board man gets paid, CMB. And if you're going to go do this offensive rebounding like you did last night, you can get chains like you did last night. You got your first ever Raptors chain after the game. You were the chain recipient because you went and got it. You went and got it. You took that chain yourself. And it really was just amazing offensive rebounding. And I want you to do this every game from now on, man, as much as you can. I know it's a battle down there because there's bigger guys than you and stuff, and you're still learning the lay of the land. But this is a foreshadowing of things to come. That Colin Murray-Boyles is a rebounding machine. And I want you to do this so much more, man, because it's so helpful to our team. It's a huge department where we've had problems this season. And we've just been waiting. And I mean, you're rookie. I shouldn't expect too much from you. You're green. You're still getting your legs under you. You're still learning. But we're just waiting for a rebounding force like you to be on our team. So grow, and grow more into this. And what you did last night, I hope you can do this consistently for most of your career because you're a badass. And you went and took those rebounds. And once again, we see the strong hands, the sticky hands of Colin Murray-Boyles in traffic. When the ball is loose and anybody's near him, he's sucking it up and taking it just like Claw, just like Kawhi. That's the secret. In some ways, Murray-Boyles, Barnes, and Leonard all have these huge hands that are very strong, and that's why they can just take the ball from people, just steal it and take it. You know, Bam Adebayo could have his hands on the ball underneath, getting the rebound, and Colin's snatching it out of his hands, snatching it right out of his hands and saying, Raptor ball. I love that. There are so many parallels to Colin Murray-Boyles and Charles Barkley. It's insane. You got a guy who's undersized, his position, plays forward. He could jump like rockets are in his feet up, and he's also strong as hell, and he rebounds like crazy, and he's very good at finishing around the basket with dunks and, timing, a little bit of this, and then, that's all Barkley shit. And I may be the only one in Raptors Nation that continues to make this comparison to Colin Murray-Barkley. And, if you go and understand Charles Barkley and how he used to play, there's so much Barkley and Colin Murray-Boyles. Now, somebody will say, you're crazy. Barkley was such a good offensive player. Yeah, but Colin could be too. I'm serious. And him and Scotty are twinning in some ways out there right now, if you know what I mean. They're twinning. All right, let's do the stars of the game real quick. Since we brought up such a great star in Colin Murray-Boyles, my number one star, though, is Scott. I'm sorry, Colin. But Scotty Barnes was the dominant big bad man on the court last night, and he was beating up little babies in the lane. And you gave him a great pick, and he came around and threw that ball down, left-handed jam on Bam Adebayo. And then Matt Devlin had one of the craziest calls of the year, like with the Merry Christmas. So good. Scotty, 36 minutes, 27 points on 10 of 14 shooting. Scotty hadn't shot very well the last couple games. Like, he was horrible in Brooklyn. And he wasn't that great against Boston either. But in this one, he tightened up. And when I was looking at his shot chart after the game, he took 1 3 from the outside, missed it. And then everything else was down low in the paint. There was one shot that was near the free throw line. But pretty much everything else was just going to the basket and going with power and putting it down on their heads. And, man, Scott, keep doing this, man. I wrote Scotty a message this morning saying, Merry Christmas. Congratulations on the win. You are the big boy now. You own the paint. You do whatever you want down there, okay? You do whatever you want down there, Scott. 10 for 14, man. 7 of 8 at the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, plus 21. The only thing I would say, Scott, is where's your stocks? Where's your steals and blocks? If that's a complaint, I'm not going to do much complaining. And once again, I'll say the other thing. Sometimes y'all's decision-making on the court is weird because, I'm hardwired with, like I said before, Hubie Brown, Jack Ramsey kind of philosophies. And the new NBA is weird because you concede paint touches and being right underneath the basket to throwing it out to somebody shooting 3, which is not a better percentage shot. And I was taught in all kinds of different ways the protocols of shot selection. And, when you get that close, go up and elevate and just get fouled instead of kicking it out. And there's sometimes, Scott, where I feel like you need to take your own shot and keep it, but you're throwing it out to somebody out for 3. Man, if we can, it's just like in war. If you get your front line pushed so far into the enemy territory, why are you conceding that front line and going backwards and leaving that trench behind. Because you guys do so much hard work to work the ball into people in the post. And when you finally get a ball down near the basket, y'all are throwing it out all of a sudden. And then somebody's missing a three instead of you just elevating right there, either making the basket and getting in one or getting foul shots at least. I just don't get it. I don't know why coaches aren't teaching young players the protocols of good shot selection in the way that you should be wiring your head to think this way. Are you actually telling them to do this, Darko? To pass up really good shots down near the basket just to try and get an extra point by throwing it out to a three-point shooter? Because look, if we were the Celtics or we were another team that shot really good threes, I'd be all about that. But we're not that. We're not that. Grady Dick, Jacoby, these guys are not consistently hitting these shots. So why would you give up the great position of being underneath the basket with the ball and just elevate and go there? Why do we have to kick it back out so much? To me, it drives me nuts in my old basketball head that when you get that close, why are you conceding that front line? Why are you doing that? It's something I don't know. This is the new NBA. This is just a new way players are hardwired to think with their protocols. I will never get it. I will never get it. It's just like dumb mistakes like, why did you save the basketball underneath your own basket? You were supposed to be learning that. It's supposed to be something that they taught every single player before they came in the league. You just learned it in basketball. You should not save the ball on underneath your own basket, because if you're falling out of bounds and you try and throw it back in, you're out of bounds and they're going 5-on-4 the other way. That's just a basic thing that was taught, in basketball in general, but that rule doesn't matter anymore. There's other things that drive me nuts too. It's like when you have a fast break opportunity, you're supposed to read whether you have the advantage or not. If you have the advantage, you better make sure you make the basket no matter what. Like if it's 2-on-1 or 3-on-2, you better pass it around between you guys, whoever's coming in, and just get to that open guy and get that basket made. Now, if you're 1-on-2, Grady, you don't try and force it. You hold up and you wait for your teammates to come down and you set up in half court. I don't get this. Like, this is basic basketball wiring and thinking about this is the protocol for this situation and this is what I'm supposed to do in this situation. Are we not training basketball players the right way anymore? That they can get all the way to the NBA and this shit is just not happening? I may be an old head. Maybe I'm just over the hill. Maybe I'm just like, the game's not like that anymore, Lex. Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. The teams that do this shit are the teams that are going to win at this age too. Because this is proven winning shit. This isn't just age, like this is old stuff from the old NBA. No, these principles and playing this way will win you basketball today too. And if you want to play sloppy and you want to concede the front line in the post position for a three-point shot with a team that doesn't shoot threes as well as other people, that seems stupid to me. And if you don't want to try and do some of the fundamentals and the basic things that we did in the 80s and the 90s, why aren't you doing it? Because I'll tell you, there's going to be a team in the league that will do that shit, and it probably will be the Boston Celtics, and they'll be more successful because they're still following old school rules and protocols and wiring their head about how to make decisions on a basketball court in the NBA. Seriously, because I've heard the old heads like Magic Johnson and Charles Barkley come out and say, I don't understand why these young players don't recognize mismatches anymore and go pick them apart. There's a certain level of cerebralness in the modern NBA that's lacking because it's all about dunks and highlights and being goofy instead of winning and doing things in the right ways that'll build winning in the right ways. Seriously, we have the wrong value system in some ways as the way we ingest basketball, and it's led to this tacky ass, let's get away from the shit that actually wins in basketball kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm crazy and I'm just some old man ranting right now, go ahead and tell me. But this makes sense to me. This shit was proven and true from before. It's today. And some of the other teams in the league will understand this and they'll follow these protocols and they'll win more and be more successful because of it. So why can't we do this? Raptors, Darko, the players. Why can't we do this? Why can't we rewire our heads to have a different kind of protocol with our shot selection, our decision making? And if plan A is covered up and is not going to work, go to plan B. That's what I got to say to that. All right, we got our second call today. We got Mr. Infamous in. It's the Infamous 6. Sir, how are you today? Oh, hang on. I got to put the speakerphone. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good to hear from you. Glad to hear from you. Salute to all the Raptors and the Raptors family.
Awesome, man. Good to see you, Infamous. How are you? You going to have a great Christmas or a holiday?
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Awesome.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Awesome.
About last night's game, I should say. I think I'm just going to keep it brief. I think Sandro played a very good game last night. I think he's an unsung hero. I don't know. What do you think about Sandro's game last night?
He's one of my stars. I was actually going to get to him very soon. You know what? If you don't mind me, I'll go through real quick, a couple. Well, you're on the phone. I'll wait until afterwards. But whatever you want to say about Sandro, we'll do it now.
Oh yeah, I think Sandro and Scotty are developing. They're developing some really good chemistry. I don't know if you noticed that the chemistry with Sandro and Scotty on the court. Sandro. You can tell Sandro is a guy that played soccer, because I noticed that guys who play soccer usually have great footwork and he almost plays almost like a small forward, almost like, he has that kind of dribble package, and kind of has like a pretty good dribble package and taking it to the rim, and his passing, his IQ is on point. Like, I really like when he's on point and he's going, he plays extremely well.
Yeah, Darko's talked a lot about this season, about how he views Sandro as a three, because he watched him in Eurobasket this summer for Georgia, and he was playing three because, to be honest, the Georgian team has a lot of their talent is big, and in that case, Sandro is one of the more skilled Georgian guys, so he gets slotted down in the lineup from 5 to like 3. He was even playing 2 at times this summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, because the Georgian team's super big, and Goga is usually the center for Orlando. And then they have a couple of guys that aren't in the NBA. They're just guys from Georgia that are kind of big, but they're not as quick. And because Sandro's so versatile and big, he ends up getting slotted down to like 3 or 2 sometimes. Yeah.
Nice.
And I think that the thing about what you're saying about the connection with Scott and Sandro that's developing, you know what? It's not even just with Scott, it's the whole team. And you know what it is? He's dependable and they trust him. Out of all the guys on the team right now, he's one of the guys they trust the most that will hit the shot, which is crazy to me, because people like Battle and Dick should be those guys. And, Sandro has been, in some ways, become the most reliable three-point shooter for us, which is absolutely crazy to me. And that's a big reason why he's got a lot of trust with his teammates right now. So
cool.
Yeah.
The next guy I want to talk about is CMB. CMB deserved the chain last night.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
He basically shifted the momentum of the team with his energy and his rebounding.
Yeah.
And I really see him developing into another OG. I really see it. I think he can be our OG.
I don't exactly see that kind of fit. I mean, he's a different kind of man. There's something different about him, and I don't know. The comparison, I get why you're trying to say it, but I don't totally see it.
You don't see it?
I see other people, but what I'll say about Colin is this. What did you say just a second ago that really keyed off on me for a second was something?
What do you mean?
You said something and I had a reaction to it but I lost it. I was going to say something really interesting, but I don't remember it now. Anyway, we'll keep going. Go ahead.
And so the next one I want to talk about is Grady.
Yeah.
Grady. And I hate to say it, Lex, but he might need a new change. He might need to change the scenery, man, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say that because I love all the guys, but yeah. Grady's struggling, and I think part of the reason why he's struggling, if you pay attention, part of the reason why he struggles is because he's pressing way too much. I think he gets out there and he like when you're out there, you think that you just have a short amount of time to prove something, and to and I think because remember, who was it? Ingram said that no, Grady himself said it, that they get on him. They get on him. And I like what you said about Darko the other day, about Darko not talking about the team in public to give to give the media fodder.
Yeah, and the fans.
Grady has said
fans.
It. Yeah, right. So Grady has said numerous times that they get on him.
Yeah.
On, like Darko and all stuff get on. He hears it. Yeah. But I think he's just pressing. He's just pressing a little bit too much. I think he just needs to process the game and have the game. Once the game slows down a little bit for him, I think he'll be a better player.
I think that. All right, I figured out my point that I remembered just now. First of all, what I was going to say before about the CMB stuff is, and then I'll do a Grady point. Is going into the game last week we had Yak. Last night we didn't have Yak, and I was a little worried about that with the rebounding. But Colin came in and took care of things like Yak would have, and that was really nice because honestly. Bam should have, honestly, it's weird. The Miami Heat aren't trying and they have problems and Spoelstra's frustrated as hell. But like Colin came out there and filled that void that Pirtle was supposed to do. And that was huge. That was huge. That was the point I wanted to make with that. And then the stuff with Grady is this. Now let's theorize this. Grady had his rookie year. His first half of his rookie year was disappointing, but then he went on a bulk up around Christmas 2 years ago. And he had an amazing second half of his rookie season. Then his second year, we started him and he had a lot of leash to make mistakes and shoot a lot and look real good all year. So he avoided a normal sophomore slump, which is kind of like what Jacoby's going through right now. And it was an enhanced kind of year because he got a lot of minutes. He got to start. And he could look real good. And there was some area where he could make mistakes and he would still be able to keep playing. This year is not like that. And in some ways, I think what's happening is Grady's having a delayed third year slump that would have been his sophomore slump if he had not started last year. And
that's a good point.
And that this year, in the limited minutes, in some ways, he may be the kind of player that needs a lot of minutes and to be able to make some mistakes to get into his groove, to be able to get going. Now, are we willing to allow him to have those minutes and have those mistakes to get him to start shooting again? Maybe we need to try and invest in that. But it's tough because we got Brandon now, and we're not trying to start him, and he's not going to get 30 minutes a game and stuff like that. So he really, the assignment for Grady is you have to be potent. You have to be in small bursts, and you have to play perfect in your small time. And in some ways, I don't know if he can do that in his style of play. And I think you may be right that a change of scenery may be good for him. But I don't know if he can do it anywhere else either, though. That's the thing.
Here's the problem. I think what they're doing is I think one of the major problems of Grady is that they're putting too much on his plate. I think they should just limit what he does. And what I mean by limit what he does, limit him at this current point in his career to just being kind of like a spot up shooter, because that's what he was brought in for. He's known for his outside shooting. So maybe you just limit him instead of having him dribble the ball and this Allegorian kind of processing where everybody touches the ball and everybody has a chance to make a shot. I think the Raptors should cut back on that, especially when it comes to Grady, and just limit him to the corners and say put him in the corner. And when and just have him just take shots from there instead of having to dribble and do all the other extra stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just cut down his plate. Like maybe there's too much on his plate at this moment, and maybe you just need to reduce it to maybe just mashed potatoes and salad instead of putting mashed potatoes, gravy, the turkey, the chicken, all that kind of stuff on his plate. So that's kind of how I look at it sometimes.
I think that this has gotten to the point where, as much as I just said the team trusts Sandro, they don't trust Grady anymore. And this is actually making it even worse because, and they gave him the ball a couple times last night for wide open shots, and he just misses it. In some ways, the other guys on the team are going to be like, I can't throw it to Grady because I know he's not going to make it. So he's inconsistent. He's inconsistent. So the other guys are shying away from directing to him in some ways. And maybe even in some of those times when they should be directing to him, he could be successful, but they're missing those spots partly because they don't trust him anymore. So,
that's great.
Oh man, it's tough because once things kind of start going in a bad direction, it's tough to fix them and get in the right way. And in some ways, the best way to get Grady back is to overuse him and let him play back into it. But how much of a runway can we do that? Like if I was the Raptors, maybe I look at this Wizards game coming up and I'm just saying, you know what? If RJ's still out, I know we've been starting Oshai. Let's throw Grady a bone. Let's actually let him start Let's see if he can get a couple of good things going, and maybe we snowball him into actually playing starters minutes, and he's actually kind of back, and we get some of his confidence back, because we should try and invest in that and get him back to being somewhat what he's supposed to be, because we're going to need him. We're going to need him at some point this season, and we'll probably need the weapon that he is in the playoffs. And it's not good to just turn a cold shoulder on a player like him and just let him waste away and become a failure. In some ways, we do probably need to try and jumpstart him back. And it may really be like what I just said. You got to give him a bunch of minutes and let him just fail and let him play through it. And then all of a sudden, maybe his shot comes back. And then all of a sudden, he starts feeling better. And then, boom, all of a sudden, we get a Grady that's way more valuable and useful to our team.
Yeah, he just needs to slow down. He's just going I think in his brain and his mind, he's just going way too fast.
I think it's opposite. I think it's opposite. In some ways, I think this aspect you're saying is, he may be overthinking. But I feel like he's overthinking to the point where he's paralyzed. And that in some ways, the best time that Grady is the most effective on the court is when he's mindlessly just chasing everything around like a dog in the yard. Like, I'm just going to go get this. I'm going to go get that. I'm going to go get this. Like, that's when he's the best. And he doesn't even have to be that thoughtful for it. Just be a shit disturber. Just be somebody who's putting your hand in everywhere and just getting in passing lanes and just coming at the basket, crash for rebounds, jump in passing lanes and steal the ball. Just be an annoying person to the other team. And that actually could be the jump start to getting his offense going again. I mean, I would, if I was Darko and I saw Grady out there running around like a crazy man, just going at people, just hustling like crazy, I would play him just for that, even if he wasn't making his shots. So he's got to understand. It's like, look, Grady, you got to offer something of value to the Raptors when you're out there. And
when you're out there,
yeah. Infamous, man.
And my final point.
Sure.
My final point. I gotta talk about Quickly. Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly's court processing really needs to improve. I love Quickly. I love what he brings. But one of the things that's really keeping him on the court over Shed right now is that Quickly's a better shooter. He's a better shooter than Shed right now. But here's a problem with Quickly. When Quickly gets into tough situation where he can't process the court very well, his fallback mechanism is just to shoot, just to throw up the shot.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for the second or third option to pass it to, or processing the second or third option, shooting should not just be your fallback state all the time. It's not on you to always be that fallback where you have to just, I don't see anything going on. I'm just going to throw up the shot. And I think that is one of the problems with Quickly. He needs to process better, and I think that will take time. I don't know if the Raptors have the time for him to develop that.
My critique earlier about Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, that directly applies to IQ. As far as like, look, you may bring the ball up the court, and you guys are calling the play, and Darko's calling the play, but you guys cannot just try and force the ball through to Plan A. If that is covered up and the defense already telegraphed it and they're covering it up, you got to think about Plan B and Plan C over there, even if it's a guy you're not totally trusting right now to make a shot.
So, what I don't like when he comes down, one of the things that bugs me, that just completely irritates me, is when he comes down the court and he just, no rebounding, no nothing. He just jacks up the shot, just jacks up the three. That running down and jacking up three thing is got to stop, because especially in the playoffs, you got to value your possessions, and that could not fly in the playoffs.
I would say this. He can do that, but he's already got to be establishing that he's hitting his shot, and he's kind of on a history. It's kind of like the, NBA Jam. He's on fire. Like, if he's getting to those kind of points where he's just on, go ahead. Green light all day. But those shots do frustrate the hell out of me too, and they kind of go back to my points about the old hardwired basketball mind, where like that's a no. And I know that drives people like Leo Routen's crazy. Like, I know it does, because and even Jack Armstrong will see it and he'd be like, man, why did he take that shot? It's like, yeah.
Because we're old school, right? We're taught that you don't do a shot like that with nobody underneath the net. So
Transition three with nobody back is like, you better fucking make it. Is basically what we're saying. Well, hey.
But thank you for the time. Dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for the call and the insight and the conversation. And I just want to wish you a happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Infamous.
Merry Christmas to you and all the Raptors family. Let's go Raptors.
Let's go Raptors. That's right. We're gonna make 2026 an awesome year, but we still have 4 games before the end of this year's up, which is crazy. We're gonna jam in 4 games in the last week, and I'll be here every day. And I hope, Infamous, you'll call me again very soon.
I hope so too. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, all the best, man. Let's go. All right, awesome call. All right, let me get back into the stars, and I'll add a little bit more with the stats real quick from what I was saying. My second star of the game is Colin Murray-Boyles, and the thing about Colin last night was the offensive rebounds. They were really crazy. He had 9 offensive rebounds, 12 rebounds altogether, 11 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. I love that he's a 3-point threat. And he does seem to like shoot them at smart times. Very, very smart times. He had 3 turnovers. He is a rookie. 3 steals, though, and a block also, a +2 in 25 minutes. Yeah, the steals are awesome because, he's being a shit disturber. He's getting in there. In some ways, the more Colin learns the NBA, the more he'll be stealing the ball because he just doesn't know what he's doing or what he's capable of yet in the NBA. He's going to get stronger. And he's also going to get wiser, and he'll understand opportunities where his crazy hands will be able to go in and get the cookie out of the cookie jar from people all over the place in the NBA in the future. And last night really was like a portal to the future to see the future CMB. Is like, this dude is a rebounding machine. This guy can be a huge plus on defense with blocks and steals. And like Trevor said, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. And that's so true. That is so true. My third star of the game last night is Sandro Mamu, who's been elevated into the starting lineup, and he's been doing a great job scoring. And, 27 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. So almost all of his shots from outside. And that's great. He hit 4 threes, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, a +19. For Sandro Mamukelashvili. That's how you say it, Eric Reed, you idiot. Mamushvili. Mamushvili. Sandro Mamushvili. It's Mamukelashvili. You dumbass in Miami. Oh, man. All right, keeping it going. My 4th star of the game is Jamison. Jamison, he got that burn late because he was a perfect 4 for 4 from the field. 11 points for Jamison in 15 minutes, 3 for 3 from 3. And it was a nice sight to see that one of our 3-point guys was actually hitting those threes. And man, Jamison's such a weapon when he does that. And I love when those guys look for him and they actually get it to him. Part of the problem, like I'm saying, is you guys force the ball to BI and IQ and Scotty all the time, but you're not getting the ball to these guys as often as you should when they are wide open on the outside. And I just want to see that more. 2 rebounds for Jamison also, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 2 steals, a +15. Absolutely. Him and Colin were the best 2 bench players off the bench, just doing so many good things, both of them, for the game last night. My final star of the game is going to be Mr. Quickly, guys. He had a weird game. In some ways, some people may say that Emmanuel didn't play very well because he shot 5 for 15. But if you take that out of the picture, he absolutely had a badass game last night. He did actually play well. He had the highest plus-minus, so he was a winning factor. He was a +27 with 18 points in 35 minutes, 1 of 8 from 3. Yeah, we'd like more of those to go in, but he was perfect at the free throw line. When he got the line, he made all 7 of them. 5 rebounds. That's great for a point guard. 7 assists with 2 turnovers, a steal, and a block. So, yeah, Emmanuel stat stuffing. The only thing you could say is he didn't shoot well, but he was floor general and doing things the right way to a certain extent to help us win. And he was doing all kinds of other stuff. And in some ways, that's what I've been asking of Quickly more recently. Now, I get it. People are going to feel like he doesn't earn his contract by the points per game. But we got to understand there's so many other avenues and ways that Emmanuel Quickly can help us win other than just filling it up. And I want him to discover this for himself as an NBA player, to develop himself further so that he's more valuable in this league. Because the more you flesh out your game other than the shooting and the scoring IQ, the better off you're going to be in the long run with your career. Trust me. Trust me. So keep leaning into the rebounding. Keep leaning into the playmaking. The 7 assists are fantastic. And, keep being a leader. And think about game flow and controlling the tempo of the game and how you can do that as the guard, the point guard. That's right. Going over the rest of the guys. I mean, Brandon had a quiet night. He was good. He was a threat. He did different things to help us early to get going, but he kind of didn't do a whole lot more and more as the game went on. And I guess because we didn't really need him. And Scott was kind of stepping up and doing the franchise player stuff for us last night. But Brandon, 29 minutes, 12 points, 5 of 14, 2 of 6 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and a block, a plus 14. And Oshai was solid. I have no problem with what Oshai did. In some ways, you'd like him to make a couple more of the shots he shot, but he's out there doing a lot of things defensively that just does not show up on the box score. And he's a very smart player. There's some stuff that he's doing out there that's saving us from embarrassment and some things that are bad. And he's absolutely helping us. I mean, he had a big block last night, right? Oshai, 21 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 block, a plus 12. Solid, fine. In some ways, the old rule used to be if you're in the starting lineup, you need to get double digits. And I still kind of hold to that. So, Oshai, try and figure out how to get double digits if you're going to continue to start. Seriously. Jamal Shed, he's been a little bit of kind of on a downswing in the last 3 games. He has not been completely his normal self. What Infamous was saying about Grady, I feel like is actually happening with Shed, where he's playing too crazy and too frenetic and trying to do too much. And he needs to slow down a little bit because he may be a little bit too overdoing it in some ways. Like there was some weird pass he threw last night that went up real high and was really like soft, and they could have came and picked it off, but thankfully we got it still. It's just Shed's a little bit crazy right now. Seriously. 19 minutes, 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. I like the threes. He was dared to shoot a couple of them. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block. Even. He was even. He could play better. He's going to be good. And Shed's actually on the list for power rankings. This morning, the new ESPN power rankings came out, and the Raptors moved up a spot from 13 to 12 in the ESPN power rankings. And they're saying that our young riser is Jamal Shed. They're saying that Jokic leads all qualified players with 11.6 assists per 36 minutes. And in second place, right ahead of Giddey and Cunningham, is Jamal Shed, a backup in Toronto, who's averaging 9.6 dimes per 36 minutes. Shed has a rough jump shot, 35.5% from the field, 32.3% on threes. But the 2024 second-round selection is a solid rotation player, able to make plays for teammates and avoid turnovers and provide hard-nosed defense despite his diminutive size. That's Zach Cram writing that. And, well, we beat Miami 2 weeks in a row, and finally, we get above them in the power rankings. I did not understand that last week. We beat Miami, and y'all had them 1 spot above us. Well, they're not above us anymore. They fell below us as of last night. We took a spot up, and Miami fell down to 15th from 12 after losing in the way they're playing right now. So the Raptors are 12th in the ESPN power rankings behind Philadelphia's 11th, which anyway. Then Orlando at 10. We're going to see them very soon. We got to beat them. Boston at 9. Minnesota at 8. Lakers are 7. And Rockets are 6. Spurs 5th. Nuggets 4th. Knicks are all the way up to 3rd now. And then the Pistons are 2nd and the Thunder are 1st in the ESPN power rankings that came out this morning, just a little while ago. Continuing with the box score, Jacoby Walter, 20 minutes, 4 points, 2 of 5. Missed all 3 of his threes, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a +3. He did miss his only free throw. Yeah, he's not as maddening as Grady, but I wish he'd make his shots too. And, he's still doing valuable things in different places in different ways. But, man, those guys have been frustrating for sure. Grady Dick, 0 for 4, missed all 3 of his threes, made both his free throws, though, got 2 points in 12 minutes. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 2 steals, plus a -8, actually. He was a -8. He was the only Raptor that had a minus out of all the Raptors last night. It's just frustrating, man. It's probably really frustrating for him. We did not see the 2 ways or Jonathan get in the game, but I'm not surprised by that. because those guys had played a double-double, a back-to-back already on Sunday to Monday, and playing 3 days in a row like that, they're not trying to do that to players. So yeah, the two ways weren't even dressed, and Jonathan didn't get in. Jonathan didn't get in. Looking at the other side, I want to give some kudos to somebody. Jaime Vasquez Jr. was the leading scorer, 21 points off the bench, 9 of 16 from the field with 4 turnovers, but a +9. Yeah, Norman, 17 points. Norm's fun to watch. Colin blocked the hell out of Norman, which was cool. Yeah, Kel'el Ware was effective early, but then he kind of just faded away and went away for the game, which I was not upset about, seriously, because he's a dangerous player. So, yeah, good job, Raptors. In some ways, we were the smaller team than them, but we still out-rebounded them and dominated them in the paint. And that's good stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Stargate's saying this. Maybe Pat Riley's going to retire, and the only request he has is that Masai replaces him. That's the thing I was thinking, is that there's a possibility that he's going to work for the Heat, which I wouldn't like. But, I mean, it's Masai. He's a GOAT. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not going to tell him what to do. But, I wish that he'd just keep it special with us. But I hope that's not true. I hope that he was just there for us. And that, some people are saying that he lives down there. No, he lives in Toronto still. But he probably does have a home down there. And, of course, why wouldn't you be down there right now with the way it's not that cold today. And honestly, the snow's been melting a lot in the last couple of days. So, I mean, who knows why Masai was down there? Who knows exactly why? Could it be that his son just wanted to go to a game and he wanted to take him to the game as a father? Could it be that he wanted to come and say hi to Scotty Barnes and Darko Rajakovic and the team? Could it be that he wanted to have a big middle finger to Ed Rogers and say, you can't fucking control me. I'm going to show up to the game and sit at courtside. There's all kinds of different reasons why Masai could have been there. There's all kinds of reasons. Could it be that he is possibly going to be taking a new job? I hope that's not the case, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Wayne's here. Good morning to Wayne Strainer. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Great to see the man enjoying an evening out with his son. Yeah, I really think it was centered around his son. I'm not going to lie, because Masai's a dad. And, his son is probably a huge Raptors fan. Huge Raptors fan. And, if this opportunity came about, and he's like, you want to go? All right, we'll go. Oh, awesome, Dad. That kind of shit happening down. Who knows? It could be as innocent as that. And that's all it is. That's all it is. We can speculate all we want, like he's saying. Masai is done with basketball management. Our team is competitive against teams without height. I think that in some ways also, this is the kind of stuff that can make a turning point for our team this year. It's like, oh, Masai came. He cares. He's shown that he cares, and he still wants to be there for the team in some ways. He didn't cheer either way for either team. He's just there observing. The people sitting next to him were cheering very hard when the Raptors did anything good, but including his son. But Masai was very stoic the whole game and did not react to the game at all. He just sat there and watched it. He didn't really, and he stayed right up until the end of the game. And who knows, at the end of the game, did he go into the locker room with the Raptors and the team and go with the team and go hang out? Did he go have dinner with all of them after the game? Probably. I'll bet you money he probably did. That's right. I bet you money he did. That's right. Daniel's back. Good to see Daniel Franklin. Raptor Freak Daniel, good morning to you, sir. Hope you're doing good. Bobby, please sign Mo Bamba. Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, whether it's a good idea. I have questions about his mentality and maybe his IQ and things like that. I don't know. There's a lot of red flags there, Daniel Franklin. If Mo Bamba, he is a specimen. He's obviously a very talented athlete, but what is wrong with him to not have him in the league right now? There's something fishy. And maybe he can do this in G League, but what if in the NBA, it's like he's so frustrating, or is this or this? I don't know. There's something not exactly adding up with Mo Bamba. Now, Bobby Webster, FBI profiler Bobby Webster, is probably could talk to Mo Bamba and be like, nah. Who knows? I don't know exactly what it is. It does seem very apparent and looks like he could help us. I agree. But we also have to understand, once again, and I use this analogy all the time, Bobby Webster lives on the moon. We do not. We do not understand what all the rules of living on the moon are as an NBA GM and head of basketball operations. And that it may be as simple as us in our minds to say, oh, just go sign Mo Bamba, but that may be way more complicated and a little bit more weird in ways that we don't even understand because we don't have the proprietary knowledge of the inside the NBA stuff as far as teams interacting with GMs and front offices, and also the NBA in the front office, and also the salary cap implications and apron stuff that Bobby has to deal with to make this realistic. Man, I just want Bobby to make a move just to make people feel better about that he is proactive to fix this issue with not having a center. I'm totally with that. Daniel, great to see you this morning. HC's in the house. Good morning to you, HC. Damn, that game was a breath of fresh air. Merry Christmas, y'all. We needed this. After that game last night, and like it's being mostly a rout, I was like, man, Raps Nation needs this so bad. They've been in shambles. Now we can enjoy our Christmas, guys. Can we, Raptors fans? Can we just enjoy our Christmas and stop being crazy on social media at this point? Apparently not, because I go on Reddit this morning, people pissing me off even after a win. It's talking all this crazy garbage. Somebody posted something about Masai Ujiri being at the game, and a whole bunch of idiots take the opportunity to dump on Masai and saying, I'm so glad he got fired. These are idiots, man. Raptors Redditors that are talking bad about Masai, two-finger salute, because that man brought us a championship here in Canada, and you need to have more respect. And everybody's saying, oh, he deserved to get fired this summer. I think you're Rogers bots or some bullshit, because no, he did not. He did not deserve to get fired. And everybody is making these stories up that, man, we were so bad the last 5 years, he totally deserved to get fired. You're fucking full of shit. He did not deserve to get fired. And if you're saying that shit, I'm gonna think that you're like some sort of bootlicker for Rogers, or maybe even a paid person to be on social media to talk down Masai Ujiri. Any good, respecting Raptor fan that absolutely loves this team and is for this team does not disrespect Masai Ujiri in any kind of way. And y'all on social media talking shit about Masai from seeing him last night, you're not fucking real Raptors fans. I'm going to say this right now. If you have anything bad to say about Masai Ujiri, that's just the damn truth. I'm sorry. Nobody should be talking shit about Masai ever. He's a legend. He's a GOAT. And he brought us the championship here. He was the architect. So fucking don't put down the man who brought in Larry O'Brien to the Raptors. No, you casuals, you pieces of shit. And anybody who's putting him down and saying, oh, the last 5 years you deserve to get fired, you're full of shit. And I've gone over this extensively on this channel. Pandemic, Tampa, so much shit we were up against. Losing the finals MVP immediately in the offseason. You fuckers that said we were fucking up our team all over the place, you fuckers don't even understand the inside stuff. You don't live on the moon. You don't know what it's like to live on the moon base with Masai and Bobby, and how there's no gravity, and you fucking take that suit off, you'll die. And you got to bounce up real high and put the flag in the ground and ride around Moon Patrol. You have no idea what living on the moon is like, you casuals. Talking your shit about Masai Ujiri and your bullshit on Reddit right now. Yeah, no disrespect towards the great president, the great architect, the great culture setter, our Red back, Masai Ujiri, you pieces of crap that are doing that. Two-finger salute again to any Raptors fan who took the opportunity of seeing Masai on the show last night, and now you want to dump on him this morning on social media. No. You're not a real one. And if you're some fake-ass people or trolls or bots for fucking Ed Rogers, just shut the fuck up. This is what I say right there. Two-finger salute for Keith Pelly, too. That's right. I got to say that right there. That's right. Stargate saying this. Yeah, I'm kind of with Wayne on this one. I think Masai is done with the NBA. He has bigger fish to fry. I hope that's true. Because honestly, if you think about Michael Jordan in a Wizards jersey, does that seem like he should have done that? Do most of y'all think that Michael Jordan should have went and played for the Wizards like he did? I mean, there's some folklore to it. There was some really nice times during it, but in some ways, didn't it kind of tarnish things? Like he should have just been a Bull his whole entire career and just left that part of his career, and that's it. But coming and playing for the Wizards, it's a step down. It's a tarnishment in some ways. And that's how I really feel about this. I know Masai has a history with Denver Nuggets before us and the Orlando Magic before that. But, he doesn't need to do anything else. It's like I said, it's like a wham. It's like Careless Whisper. It's like he's never going to dance again the way he danced with us, guys. And how the hell is he going to ever match that? And we have speculated if he did come back to the NBA, he would be with an expansion team in Seattle. That it's a brand new project. It would be like Sandy Brondello coming to the Tempo and saying, I'm a champion on other teams, but I want to try something new and build it from the start. I mean, I can see him doing that. But I tend to think that Masai's probably done with the NBA, and politics and bigger things in this world are more in his future. Does that make sense? Yeah. HC saying CMB, I can see being a future Oakley. Yeah, I think he's better than Oakley. I think in some ways there may be some offensive gifts that he could do that are better than Charles Oakley. And that's why I say Charles Barkley. You can say it. Both of Oakley and Barkley, they're similar players in some ways, but Barkley was a way more gifted offensive player than Oakley. In some ways, Oakley wasn't really a post player in some ways like Barkley was. And Colin Murray-Boyles could be a post player. The thing is, he's just got such good strength, and he's got that elevator that'll go up real fast, and he can dunk on people's heads. And it doesn't matter if they're 7 foot. And that's Barkley all day. And Barkley could be down in the post with Dikembe Mutombo guarding him, and he would dunk it on his head as a 6'4" man. So that's the way I look at it. That's why I say Colin Murray-Barkley, because he's got the elevator, he's got the strength. And in some ways, if he develops his offense to a certain way, it's not like I'm saying he's going to be the Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, but he's more like Charles Barkley than most anybody else in the league right now. In some ways, I would say that. Wayne saying, Lex, thanks for your honesty. Last night, win was a double-sided. Those shed layups aren't working against taller athletes. We're still missing 3-on-2 fast breaks. Take the win, but don't gloat. Yeah. No, we needed the W. We needed it for vibes. We needed it for feeling better. But honestly, it wasn't a clean win. And in some ways, we play that way against a lot of other teams in the league. We lose. That's just the truth. It's just that opponent, you can get away with it like that. But if you play like that, like you did against Boston, I think we played better against Boston than we played against Miami last night. Seriously. I think that we played better on Saturday night against the Boston Celtics than we played against the Miami Heat last night. And we didn't win against the Celtics, but we beat the Heat. So there's something to that. Neil's saying this, greats motivate themselves. MJ, Kobe, Shaq, they would annihilate their opponents if they told themselves they are being disrespected. Translation, don't poke the bear. Kyle Lowry. Yeah, I mean, this is totally true. And in some ways, that's what I want, this motivation for Scott. I want this motivation for Emmanuel. This kind of stuff. You guys want to go get it and beat their ass. That's what I'm saying right there. All right, I lost my place. Let me find it. Wow, you guys really fill it up. This is awesome. Okay, here we go. Cass, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freak crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Cass. Hopefully you're off for the holiday. Maybe you got one more day on the road again. Maybe not. Maybe you're off today. Neil's saying this, the mistakes Shed makes today will be his successes in his 3rd and 4th season. Yeah, these guys are learning, man, and they're smart. And that's the great thing. Maybe that's why Mo Bamba ain't coming here, because he's not smart enough to learn. I don't know. Chris Kim's saying this. What's up with Grady? 8 said Battle is the best 3 out of shooters from last year, and I haven't seen Grady step up. I know. I don't know, man. It's confidence. In some ways, this league isn't easy. In some ways, I've said before, Grady should have stayed in school, especially with NIL, and maybe he should have been coming in the draft this year. You know what I'm saying? I think that maybe he should have stayed in school for 2 more years, and he should have been coming into the NBA this draft right now. That's part of it. I think that you threw a guy who's undersized with strength, and he's in a league of men, and he's a little boy. And in some ways, it's like, look, you can strengthen up. You can try and do everything. Like I said, you want to stay in this league right now, since you're already in it, Grady, you got to go all out and be scrappy as fuck and just be an annoying pest, like Alex Caruso. Do shit like he would do. If you do stuff like him, maybe you have a chance even without shooting. But that's the thing. You got to find something that's contributing, that is in the case of your shot not making it. And we're not seeing that exactly. And the decision makes us crazy. And in some ways, it's confidence at this point, Crisco. Grady's confidence is shot. because he's missing so many shots. And every time he misses and stuff, he's like, oh my gosh, this hole's getting bigger. And it's like, I don't know how to help him in some ways. It's like, I don't know. I wish the team would figure out how to help him themselves, or Grady would just kind of like get past it. Because the old thing used to be like, Grady, I have a short memory, is Grady. And I'm like, if I miss a shot, I forget it. I'll make the next one. If I miss a shot, I'll make the next one. But things are getting so bad at this point. Like, is the next one he's gonna make it? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. It sucks, man, because he's a great asset. And in some ways, we were looking at him and saying, "Oh, he's going to become this and this and this soon," and that doesn't seem to be the case, does it? No. G saying this: Raptors and Heat are going to be fighting for bigs in the trade market. They're going to negotiate hard with us, knowing we need it. Once we have a pipeline, we won't be in a vulnerable position again. See, we had a pipeline, and in some ways, Masai leaving was part of the reason why we needed him, because he's the master scout. That's the thing. Bobby's a capologist, and Masai's the master scout. That's where he comes from. He's a scout. And Masai was, I mean, we had the connection through Africa, through Masai. And that's just a really good thing to have. I mean, we had a couple pipelines coming towards us. We got a Canadian pipeline and we had an African pipeline. But I don't know if that African pipeline is still open now that Ed Rogers dismissed Masai Ujiri, which was stupid. You know, are we going to be able to get guys from that continent like we have in recent years? Or you know, it's tough, man. But we do have a Canadian pipeline of young homegrown talent in this country that hopefully, you know, very much favors becoming a Raptor like RJ Barrett. You know. Let's see. Seymour saying this: salute, Merry Christmas to all past and present and future Raptor freaks, Mountain Standard Time region. There you go. Yeah, we'll give a salute to the past Raptor freaks. Why not? The ones that you know, I don't get along with anymore. Sure, we'll do that. That's like a Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future Christmas Carol. G said this: I did some research on one and dones from college, Grady. There are many one and dones that took them 5 to 6 years in the NBA to truly show their skill set. Hopefully, he will surprise us in a few years. Hopefully, he stays at it and he doesn't go in a bad direction. You know, man, nothing's guaranteed in this world. And, well, we'll just have to see what happens. And hopefully, I don't know, the Raptors will have patience to see it pay off and we'll get the dividends for it. It would suck if we didn't have patience, we traded him, and all of a sudden he blew up on another team, right? That would suck, right? Blackhawks saying this: of course, they want people to die because they are limited in their thinking, hoarding resources and power. Yeah, I mean, there's some people say there's overpopulation on this planet, but that's not totally true. That's just an excuse for people to want to be awful to people so they die. You know, there's a lot of land mass that's still very usable in all kinds of different places. Like, look at Canada. Hello. It's like, you know, I don't get it. In some ways, it's like, you know what? It's veiled racism is what it is. You know, certain oligarch white people want to see brown people die, want to see people of other places die. And, you know, a symbolic thing of it is Trump added more countries to, we don't want you to come here. And basically, they're all countries that are people of color. You know, he said, these are countries we do not want to accept citizens from anymore. Now, we love to get white South Africans to come and live here. We'd love to get more Europeans, true Europeans that are white. It's all white supremacy, half of it. And building systems that are not good for minorities. And then, like, yeah, we don't care if you don't have health care. Yeah, we don't care if you don't have food for your baby. We don't care about all this. They're misery wreakers. They want to wreak misery around the world. And some of them are very sick people that absolutely get off on it and enjoy it. These are absolute antichrist kind of people that are fucked up, man. I'm telling you right now, we got to not mince words and be very honest about some of the powers that be are absolutely white supremacists, and they do want to hurt people of color. And they're doing it in weird ass ways right now. I mean, if you don't want to believe me and you think I'm crazy, no, this is true. This is true. There's a lot of racists that are having a great time this year because they see pain and misery in Latinos across the country in the United States. And it's fucked up, honestly. It's very fucked up. Let's see. Seymour saying he will, as long as he stays in a good program, which uses him properly. Talking about Grady and Jacoby too. Okay. Neil's saying the player usage will change after trade season ends. It always does. Well, we'll have to see. Yeah, you're right, because it'll clear up some things, and hopefully we'll have the ability to know exactly who's going to be in our future for the 2 and the 3, and it won't be so crowded. And then maybe there's some confidence because there's like, all right, they do believe in me because I'm the one who's still here. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff could happen. Yeah. Nako's here. Good to see Nako. I want CMB to be a Jalen Johnson like sleeper hit. Don't fucking compare. God, I hate this. Fuck Jalen Johnson. Fuck that shit. Colin Murray Bowl is a totally different kind of player. And honestly, you guys keep comparing him. I compare him to Charles Barkley. You're going to compare him to Jalen Johnson? What the fuck is that, man? Wade said this. Larry and his wife were in the city in person. I saw Masai actually speak to at halftime. Just 2 ex-workmates enjoying a product they facilitated. We actually played less predictable with BI on the bench. Yeah, I noticed that they didn't play BI as much in the second half. Maybe in some ways they're resting him on the down low because he's been the minutes leader so far this season. I mean, in some ways that's a good look, especially if Scotty's cooking. I think that that's how you can get away with that. Is like if Scotty's deciding to be an offensive guy that night and take a lot of scoring himself, then maybe we can give Brandon a little bit of time away and not have to carry so much because he's been carrying a lot so far this year. So, yeah, these guys are really family, Tannenbaum and Ujiri. They're always going to be family. And it's not even about working. These guys are family. And that's why I think that they're all together going to do Christmas together. Seriously, you're going to have one big happy Raptors Christmas. Maybe it's at Scotty's house. And Masai's there, Larry's there, Bobby's there, and the team is there. Darko's there. I mean, who knows? They could probably be going all kinds of different directions. Maybe I should check the Instagram stories and see what they're doing. Let's go look real quick. We got Scotty posting the score from last night. And Scotty was interesting in his interview after the game. They asked him, what do you want to do for your New Year's? What do you want in the new year? He's like, I want to just keep being me and being blessed and just doing what I do. And he was very serious about getting the win and how important it was for them to get the win last night. And Scotty's just becoming more and more of a consistent leader. Now, he's consistent more on the defensive end every single time, but I'd love to see him do more like he did last night more often, where he dominates the paint and he's just the big bad man on the court that is absolutely ruling things. And the way that him and Colin were rebounding together on the court is really what the Raptors need more often. You add Yak to that, man, we can rebound with the best teams in the league then. We can rebound with the best teams in the league at that point. Let's see. Jared Roden playing in France. Let's see. What kind of highlight is it? He's hitting a 3. No, he's driving. Oh, yeah, there you go. Boom, goes a dynamite. A dunk right on their heads. Wow. Jared is tearing it up in France right now. Former Raptor Jared Roden is on Paris's team right now. And they got victory, 10-point win, 102-92 yesterday. Good stuff, man, over there in EuroLeague. There's the Jameson doing that crazy look that you guys called it. You wanted it, Fiercey? You wanted the emoticon of the, yeah, well, you got it. And Jameson was doing it on the court when Scotty threw it down on Bam Adebayo's head last night. Yeah, there was that look. And there's Jamal Shed posting the team in the back. Of course, I used it for my cover photo for this stream. And looking at it, man, those 2 ways look funny. AJ looks so happy. He's smiling. He's like got the peace sign. RJ's like doing something weird, like he's in a trance. Chucky and Elijah in their off clothes. Yeah, Colin with the chain. Oshai with a big cheesy grin, smiling in the back. And there's a Mamu and Jakob. And then, you got Shed and Jacoby. They're funny when they pose in these pictures. Jonathan's got a big cheesy smile, and so does Scotty. They're always twinning. And then you got Grady and Jameson twinning with their pose, of course. Grady looks a little scared, though, in his. Like, normally he's looking, like, fierce and posing, but he looks a little, like, forlorn and sad, too. I don't know. We're winning. Grady, get it together so you can help us. Seriously. Kelly Olynyk celebrating Spurs wins. And Victor Wembanyama, and there he is coming in the game wearing a goofy Christmas sweater. And, well, why is he wearing a goofy Christmas sweater? Because his wife is wearing a goofy Christmas matching sweater. So she's at the game, and they're matching with their goofy Christmas sweaters. There's Jonathan Mobo cheesing for the camera coming in the game. And Jonathan's got to be kind of really, like, enjoying this year. Some people would be like, man, you put me on a 905 for this season. I hate this. But Jonathan's not like that. He's actually really, really happy that he's getting as much time because he is becoming a better player. And 905 is working for Jonathan Mobo right now. Seriously, man. He's becoming a well-faceted all-around player in different ways. And I'm proud of him for doing the stuff that he's doing down there. Colin Murray Boyle's coming in the game with his hair in his face and his acid wash jeans. There he is blocking Raptors legend Norman Powell going to the basket in that highlight. There is the squad there, and there he is with the chain. He looks really happy to get it. Mom was at dinner last night. They were at Santorini, Giorgio's. Opa! And it looks like the whole team was there. And they were eating some good food, man. Look at that spread. Look at all that food there. Yeah, they got to feed these guys. They had a big game. That's right. Matt Devlin with the call on Scotty's dunk on Bam is awesome. That was such a good call. It's one of those iconic calls by Matt Devlin. Pretty good. Jacoby's got the squad on his pictures, and he's been doing that shot with Curtis Andrade before the game where he rolls the ball to the equipment manager, and then he kicks the ball over to him, and he makes the three. He's been making that shot consistently every time, and then he shakes his hand and says thank you. Elijah Martin got all winter showcase team at the G League Winter Showcase. He was one of the top 5 players in the G League Showcase, and he got all winter team. So that's pretty cool, man. I love to see that Elijah is getting recognition for his steady, good, hard work from the tournament that just ended. And he took a lot of pictures with some Florida fans. There were a lot of Gator fans at the game last night in Miami, and he was in the crowd taking pictures with a bunch of Florida Gators and doing the Gator chomp. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Jamison Battles got the score from last night. Let's see. What else do we got? That's pretty much it, I think. That's it. Norman coming into the game wearing his Skechers and his Lacosta. Fred VanVleet posted a thing where Max Kellerman and Rich Paul do a podcast. And Max Kellerman is saying, I don't think Fred's coming back this season. I don't think he is. And Rich Paul says to Max, he says, you want me to call him and we'll talk to him personally. I'm sick of you saying this. And like, Rich Paul, damn. He's like, yeah, I'm going to call him. And Max is like, no, it'll look bad if you don't get him on the phone. Oh, he's going to be answering me. Trust me. And he calls Fred, and Fred answers the phone for sure. And he's like, Richie P, what's up, Richie P? And he's like, I got Max Kellerman here, and he's saying you're not coming back this season. And he's like, oh, man, but Max knows everything. That's what Fred said. But, yeah, it's pretty funny to see that interaction on the Rich Paul, Max Kellerman podcast. But, yeah, Fred will answer the phone, and apparently he was in the middle of his rehab session when Rich Paul called him during that time. Man, Fred's all over the media right now. He's just doing everybody's show at this point. Everybody's show. Jack Armstrong's very much in the holiday season. He's got his Christmas album and all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. You know, you can get a cameo from Jack still anytime you want also. Scotty Barnes with a picture of Vin Bagnani's daughter. She's like a fan, I guess. And they had to get a picture of Vin's daughter with Scotty. So, yeah, she seems like she's very happy to be in that picture with him. CBL's celebrating the holiday season. So happy holidays from the CBL, the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And Mercedes, Sandro's fiance, is letting us all know today is National Short Person Day yesterday. So there you go. There's the Instagram stories. National Short Person Day. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, let me see. Where are we at here? Neil saying front office needs to make the trade so Darko can focus on the true rotation. Okay, I like that. G saying we have to keep in mind before trades there is a game within the game. Whom is trying to be showcased, etc. Yeah. We just gotta let Bobby cook. Trust in Bobby. It's an odyssey. Darko very much in his interview after the game saying we're exactly where we wanted to be. And last year we were who we were supposed to be. And people trying to say in the press, oh, you guys were so bad last year. And Darko's like very defiant. He's like, we were exactly doing what we were supposed to be to get to here. And this is all part of the process. I love that. Darko's no nonsense. And honestly, like he said, if you told me at the beginning of the season that we'd be 18 and this at this point in the season so far, I would say I'll take it. And we'd be very happy. And I agree with this. And I think that Raptors fans need to realize that, count their blessings, and realize we're above 500 team. That's, you know, we jumped back up to 4th in the Eastern Conference. We're 4th, the 4th seed as of last night because we beat Miami and we jumped ahead of Philadelphia, lost to the Nets. So the Nets actually really helped us out last night. So, yeah, let's see. Stargate saying this, and I'm sure that Trevor did not mean to take your comment out. Wasn't it Colin? He said asked to leave Battle In. I think Darko said Colin, not Brandon. I don't know. I missed that part in the interview. I don't remember that part. Either way, it doesn't matter. They left Battle In, and he got to play late in the clutch. That's right. Maybe I didn't hear correctly. I don't know. I'll maybe go look at it, but either way, it's not really a big deal, right? Neil saying availability is a difference maker. I agree with that. Nako's saying BI asked to keep Battle In. It was BI. Wiggins was great in that finals. Yeah, he was. He was very good in that finals. Smooth saying Andrew Wiggins is only 30 years old, man. Then why is he playing like he's 36? That's what I'll ask. Why is he playing like he's 36, man? I don't know. You guys got to understand, it's hard to keep that hunger and drive once you get to a certain level of comfort and abundance. And these guys are $1 million players. And that's one of the hardest things is to stay that hungry, to have that Mamba mentality, to be like Mike. When you have everything you could ever want in your life, it's real easy to get lazy, right? It's real easy to kind of be like, yeah, I've gotten a championship. I've got millions of dollars. I'm very successful. You know, what else do I have to do? You're still in the NBA. Not everybody's got DeRozan code. Not everybody is going to get the money and still work just as hard like Siakam and Powell. I'm just saying. And you can tell because honestly, the way that Andrew Wiggins was coming in, wasn't he like a first pick in the draft or something like that? The dude could have been way bigger and way better in some ways if he had worked a bit harder, is all I'm saying. You take the DeRozan code work ethic of DeMar DeRozan and you put it in Andrew Wiggins, his has a totally different career, guys. And it would be evidenced by where is he on the career lists for scoring? Like DeRozan. You know, you got to be DeRozan to get up there on the list like that. You have to be consistent for 20 years. And I'm just saying that I can look at Andrew Wiggins, and if people are going to say Andrea Bargnani was a bust, you might have to say that Andrew Wiggins was too, to an extent. Seriously. Because everybody puts so much pressure on a high draft pick like that and say, oh, they should be this and this and this. And in some ways, there was a lot of hype and things said about Andrew Wiggins in his early career in Minnesota. And sure, maybe he was held back by Minnesota because it's Minnesota and the way it was. But still, I'm just saying, he's not trying. That's what I'll say. He's not trying. If he was trying, Miami would have fought harder and made that game more close. He's not trying. And to a degree, Bam isn't trying either. Let's just put it that way. That's not the normal kind of energy or output by the Miami Heat franchise that I'm used to, what we saw last night. Now, granted, a lot of their roster is young and green, and they make mistakes, and they're going through their own development. But those older guys that are on that team, I mean, I'm giving Norman a pass. I understand his grind, and I know exactly what he's going to do, and he's going to do it to what he can do it. But those other two guys, something's wrong. Bam Adebayo is very passive, and Andrew Wiggins is just kind of an afterthought, which is weird to me because at this point in their careers, they should have dominated that game last night. Seriously, they should have dominated that game last night. So let's see. Smooth saying his heart was broken when the Warriors traded him. That was the one place he was happy. Yeah, listen, I want to be supportive towards Andrew, and I know you guys seem like I'm a hater towards him. I do really like Andrew a lot. It's just I'm talking about full potential here. And, you know, I could see Stunted Growth making a clip on Andrew Wiggins at some point and talking about where Andrew Wiggins could have been even better than what he was. Seriously, you know that channel, Stunted Growth. It's awesome. He has a new one out on Chris Paul and talking about how it's messed up that his career way it went and how unfair it is in some ways. Because his way of saying it is Chris Paul got hurt every single time he was close to doing something amazing, and it's tragic. And then like the way things are ending with the Clippers right here, it's kind of not respectful towards him. That's why I say you vote All-Star, vote for Chris Paul. Yeah, not good saying Wiggins was an all-star and the second best player on the finals team. He's disappointing as a prospect. He's had a good career. I'm not going to say he didn't have a good career. I'm not going to say he's not an NBA champion. I'm just saying he could have been even better. That's what I'm saying, Nako. That's what I'm saying right there. Neil's saying if a player is not given enough effort because they didn't get an award, then they never deserved the award in the first place. They're also hurting their value with that kind of thinking. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Either way, we are talking way too much about Andrew, and in some ways, I don't want to hyper-focus on him. I really don't. Wayne's saying your comment about IQ going against Davion Mitchell in terms of intensity is different. Mitchell is short. IQ can look better against him. Haven't seen against Sexton, Garland, who are more determined. No, I just saw in that moment a real like determination by IQ to get back at Davion Mitchell after he hit that three. Like he was like a possessed guy who's saying, I'm going to make sure I score just to get back at you no matter what. And I'm just wondering if we can manufacture that kind of motivation with IQ, even if there isn't like a whole jawing and going back and forth between him and a former teammate named Davion Mitchell, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. This game was about defense. Kudos to the Raptors, Scotty, Mamu, and CMB. Wow. You could say it was about defense, but that's kind of being nice. This is about two teams that don't shoot very well, and whichever team shoots better is going to win. Let's do the team stats on that note real quick. I mean, yeah, there was good defense out there. I won't poo-poo it, but let's be real. These are two bad teams with shooting, and in some ways we shot better than them by the end. 48% from the field for the Raptors. Both teams were shooting around 30 in the first half. 40% for the Heat. They did not get around to shooting better. They made 8 threes. We made 14. We did get to the line less than them. The refs were a little bit on bullshit last night. I'm not going to lie. They were actually helping the Heat right away. Like right at the beginning of the game, they called a weird-ass foul on us and put Bam on the line. Now, I want to ask this, referees. If IQ wasn't getting those calls in Brooklyn with Evan Scott when he's driving in the lane and you were saying, no, it's on the floor, why the hell did you give free throws to Bam Adebayo right at the beginning of the game when that should have been a side out? Like, that's fishy as fuck. That man was not shooting. He made a move into the lane and got fouled while he was dribbling. And somehow, miraculously, this dude is shooting free throws at the free throw line like he made a shooting foul. That was fishy as hell because that man was not shooting. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, they're going to give free points to the Heat. And to do that, hey, a Blue Jay just showed up. Hey, Blue Jay. Hey, Blue Jay. You had a great season. Sorry, I get distracted. All right, let's see. Rebounding. We out-rebounded them plus 10, which was good. Assist-to-turnover ratio, 29-17 for the Raptors. Not totally the 2-to-1 that we like. The Heat were 18-18, so they had a 1-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's crazy stuff right there. Yeah, both teams had 12 steals, which is pretty awesome. That's a very, very crazy turnover the ball kind of game. Fast break, we beat them by 4 points. Points in the paint, we beat them by 8. So we were beating them on all parameters, and we beat them by 21 by the end. And that's fantastic stuff. Good job, Raptors. Good team effort, and good getting different guys to contribute more than the other side. That's a lot of how you win, is if you have more guys contributing and doing more to help you, you can win. That's how you do it. Mr. Quasimodo is back in the chat. Let's see what he's saying. Darko is firing on all Pistons with the Suns choice and timing. Sub choice. Yeah, I don't know why you say Pistons and Suns. I was like, wait, we talking about other NBA teams here? No, he's talking about how he liked his rotation. And I think playing battle late was really good, really smart. Really, really smart. Neil's saying this. The game worked well because Darko staggered Scotty and Colin for the first 3 quarters. That is sustained defense throughout the game. Then Darko has them play together in the fourth, raise the defense. You know, one of the things in the fourth that's really important for us to do well is quick shed. That has just been a standard now. You know, we may start Oshai or Jacoby, but at the end of the game, it's the starters with Shed in that other spot, and we're doing a quick shed where we have Quickly and Shed out there together, and they're doing, that is a really interesting look in the fourth. It actually really works well. Karthika has posted on Blue Skies the lineups that we had last night and which ones did the best with plus minus. The starters were very good last night. The starters in 2 different times, they were scoring a lot. They were plus 9 in the first stint of the game. And then when the starters played near the end of the half, in the first half, they were plus 12. So some of the best lineups here were stuff like that. And another thing that I noticed that they did in the game last night, which was interesting, is there was a very rare little bit of a time where there was no Brandon or Scotty out there. And that's kind of like us playing without a safety net, because we've kind of kept it where always going to have either Brandon or Scotty on the court. but there was a little bit of time where there wasn't either one of them on the court, and that was very interesting. In some ways, I guess at times you're going to have to do that every once in a while, you know. Mr. Quasimodo's saying this. Let's see. I'm actually so happy for this win. Merry Christmas, guys and gals. Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Quasimodo. And I appreciate your patronage on the Raptor Freak channel. Thank you for watching and subscribing and being a part of the discussion. That's right. Kenne's here, original Raptor Freak Kenne. Mamu plays well when Shed is on the floor, for sure. For sure. It's like when you're a kid in the 80s, you buy an action figure and they have like a little sidekick that comes in the package with it. You know, you maybe strawberry shortcake. You got a strawberry shortcake, and they got a little pink cat with that. So there's combos like that. There's like Shed and Mamu, and then there's like IQ and Yak. You know, there's combos like that on our team that are kind of nice, little pairings. You know what I'm saying? G saying, yes, they were sloppy. Yes, they need to work on details, but a win is a win, and they gave us a Christmas holiday gift. Exactly, G. You're exactly right. I see OG and Colin Murray Boyles too. I think he is further along as a rookie, but I see the prototype, hard-nosed, versatile defender, can shoot the three. Who would have thought? I don't, you know, the reason why I don't say OG is because OG is not the kind of dedicated rebounder that Colin can be. In some ways, OG shies away from some of that physical stuff down low. Colin's going right in the middle of it, and he's already dealing with it as a rookie. So there's a room for him to grow in the paint as a very strong physical presence that pushes everybody around. You know who's a better comparison for him is Beef Stew. Beef Stew is a good comparison in the modern game for Colin Murray Boyles as far as, like, I think he has more offensive potential than Beef Stew, but take the baseline of the strength and the stuff that Beef Stew does as far as rebounding and doing stuff like that. That's a pretty good. I mean, some people say no, but OG's better than Beef Stew. But yeah, but OG's more of a wing, and Colin's more of a big. Colin's more of a big. OG plays more like wing because he does like shooting guard stuff, and he shoots outside. I know Colin does that too, but in some ways, Colin is really got a feel and an aura around him like he's a big, like he is a 4. And Darko's already said he's going to play him small ball center at some point too. Like when he gets a little more savvy, they'll start playing him at the 5 at a certain point. Watch. But that's why I would say that comparison in some ways in the modern game, not necessarily OG, but Beef Stew. Think about Beef Stew in that way. Mr. Roger Raymond's here. Thank you for being a supporter of this channel. He's a great member of this channel. And you guys can become a member of the channel too. You get things like access to calling the show. Like we've had a couple callers today, access to our Discord server, all kinds of good stuff. Roger, how are you doing today, sir? Salute, Raptor Freaks. You are right. We need merit-based play and fundamental principles. And yes, you are still an old man ranting. Cheers. I'm going to give Roger a dunk for that because I do feel like there's some validness in the history of the game and what works. And if you go back and take things that worked in the past, even if it's antiquated and outdated and not necessarily the way the game's going in some ways, you may think that it's not worthwhile to try and do still, but it may actually still work. All right, man. You got the Colin Murray Boyles 12, Roger Raymond. There you go. You got the Colin Murray Boyles 12. There you go. Alley-oop to Roger. Okay, I did it. Good game. I got him in there. That's right. Salute to Roger Raymond. And thank you also to Shaq Lindsay, another member of the channel. Dick is the weak link, and teams are exploiting it, especially when we don't have a backup big. Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about Grady already today. I'm not going to disagree with Shaq on this one. Cool Cat is here. Good morning to the coach. Cool Cat. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good to see you. Neil saying, I keep saying the movement shooting is killing Grady. Have him follow Battle's regimen. Better for Grady to succeed instead of forcing a style because of the possibilities. In some ways, I want him to just wipe his mind of three-pointers. Don't even try and shoot them at this point, Grady. Don't go and play a game where you don't even take a 3. Just go all out on hustle and just be a crazy-ass 2025 Kurt Rambis. Just go after the ball, bro. You know, just go after it. Just be that annoying pest. Just be to the point where you're shit disturber and you're changing the game because you're absolutely making a difference with hustle. In some ways, you want to be in this league, bust your ass and go get it. That's what I want to see Grady do because the shots are not falling right now. Give us somewhere, another area where you can show that you're indispensable and you absolutely help us. That's what I'm saying. If it's sneaking up on somebody and getting a ball loose or a deflection, that is going to be good right there. Cool Cat saying Wiggins experience what is more important in life. Facing mortality does that without fail. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to fault him, man. He's a successful guy. I hope he's happy. I know it's tough to deal with, the situation with his dad. Once again, I'm just trying to be real here, guys. And maybe I'm being a little too hard. Oh, Wiggins. Excuse me. Jeez. Oh, wow. Hang on. A little bit of a sneeze there. Kenny's saying we have Battle with high IQ. Forget Dick. Yeah. The thing about Battle is he's lapped Grady on size and being able to take things in the NBA. And he's been really smart with cuts. And they're finding him with lately we've been finding him with these easy dunks where he just comes in. He's like cutting the lane and Battle's right there open. He runs in and he just dunks it. I love that play. It's really, really good. Let's see. Excuse me. Sorry, I sneezed there. Let's see. Neil saying learning is always from the bottom up, not top down. Okay. Cool Cat saying Grady's issues is about roster balance. We are not developing him. We drafted rookies to develop, and now we're switching to win now mode. It's affecting Grady and Jacoby's development. Yeah. They're just not, we're not a losing team where they can mess around and play a lot and go through their mistakes. We're starting to win again. And what we need is them to get the best of their game into shorter bursts. Instead of playing like a full starters minutes, they gotta get the good stuff in littler time. And that's just how it is. And I'd rather be a winning team and doing this than be a loser team for years and years and just build them up. No, this is it. This is how it goes. And in some ways, we're going to get better and better. You better get better with us, is what I'm saying. G saying this. We should remember Grady is only 22. Battle is the better player right now, but he has 2 more years on Grady. If he gets traded, that's fine, but wouldn't be surprised if he blooms later. That's what I'm saying. But there's no guarantees also. Everything's on the table right now with Grady Dick, and his path and where he's going in the NBA is up to him. Let's just put it that way. Cool Cat saying this. Quickly is a shooting guard, not a point guard. Shed is a point guard. Look at the difference in floor management and players' readiness. Quickly very much is a combo guard, and he did lean more towards shooting guard, but he is transitioning. He's transitioning, and it's kind of bumpy. I mean, Quick played point guard in other levels of his career earlier, and he can do this. I'm not saying he can't, but his proclivity, in some ways, his strengths are to shoot and be an offensive guy. I don't know. He's metamorphosizing right now in front of us. In some ways, Quickly is changing in front of us, and he's not totally the product that who he's going to be is not totally figured out. And well, we're just going to have to see if Bobby's investment in him is the right investment and that his contract will look better and better as time goes on. Seriously, we'll have to see. Nako's saying this. CMB reminds me of J-Dub. Which one? That don't mean nothing to me. Jason Williams, White Chocolate. There's been like 100 guys that were nicknamed J-Dub. Seriously, I don't know which one you're talking about. I have no idea. That's like you just gave me a half-ass answer. I need a full name answer here, Nako. J-Dub, who are you talking about? Old school guy like me is going to think Jason Williams, White Chocolate first. If you're talking about J-Dub, that's right. That's the nickname that can go to a lot of different people. There's a lot of people with the initials JW in the history of the NBA. I have no idea who you're talking about. Am I just supposed to magically know who J-Dub is? Because I don't know who that is. You could be talking about all kinds of people. If it's a certain player on the champion Oklahoma City Thunder, you should just write their name out. In fact, you need to write their whole name out with the spelling because there's people that have the same name as him in this league, and you could get it all mixed up. Is it with an E or an I? I don't know, man. Full name answers, please. Full name answers. Seymour saying, at Neil, you're right about effort or lack of only hurts the player. Okay. Neil's saying IQ has to get those shots up. Can he make better shots? Yes, but he is useless to us if he doesn't get his shots up. He's not a great floor general, so he has to get those shots up to be healthy. I don't necessarily agree with this. I think that, kind of the argument I was making for Scott this summer is like, y'all can't judge Scott on whether he's a good player by his points per game. I want to switch that to IQ a bit right now too. Like, there's been games where he hasn't got double digits lately in scoring, but he's gotten really good all-around stats in other areas. And in some ways, if IQ's helping us win by being a plus 27, even if he shot 5 for 15 and, he didn't get 20 points. A lot of people are going to judge him for that, but he's doing an all-around game right now. And in some ways, I respect that because that's what we need. And like I said just now, he's in a metamorphosis. He's changing who he is as a player on the court in some ways, and it's not going totally smooth. But the destination and what he's trying to do could be very much a good payoff for the Raptors. And we need to let him develop into what he could possibly be. If he can be a more traditional point guard at times, which I think he can be, I very much think he can be, we need to go and discover that more. But like I said, in some ways, the things I said for Scott this summer, stop judging Scott solely on his points per game. If he averages 15 points a game, but he gets like almost 8 rebounds and 7 assists, and stocks are like 3 or 4 a game, he's doing great. And it's not all about the points per game. And Emmanuel, if he stat stuffs and he does all kinds of other areas, he can help us win in other areas. He doesn't have to only shoot. He can help us win in other areas. He can. Wayne saying analytics makes you look better if game performance okay, and worse if game just average. Rebounds I saw from IQ were not competitive and just available. Miami has non-physical, surprisingly safe game. I don't know if that's totally true. I've seen IQ get in there in the land and the Giants and wrestle away some rebounds this season that he had no business getting. So he gets in there and he puts his fight in there to get those rebounds for sure. Racemo is saying, Merry Christmas, Lex and the crew. Much love to everyone. Much love to you also, Edmund. Thank you for being a supporter of this channel as a member. And I appreciate you, man. I hope that 2026 is a banner year for you, your family, your company, everything that you're doing, my guy. I have so much respect for you and your art. And I appreciate you being a longtime supporter of this channel. He's been with us for all 4 years. And Edmund, I appreciate you, man. Only blessings to you, your wife, and your kids, man. Only blessings, man. Seriously. Nameless is here. Good to see the Italian plumber. Please come to us in some capacity, Ujiri. Back to us. Yeah, I don't know if Rogers will let that. Like I said, he's with us in spirit and literally probably still talking to Bobby on most days. So it could be that he's not even like getting paid, but we're still getting some from his mind because him and Bobby are like that. They are friends. They're not, it's not changed in some ways. And it's not like Ed Rogers can tell Bobby not to be friends with people in life. He doesn't have that kind of power, right? So Masai still talks to Bobby regularly. Who knows what he says to him? Who knows if they keep it off business? Maybe they don't want to put any professional in there. But who knows? Maybe Bobby hears it from Masai because Masai can't help but talk about it to him because it's still something in his DNA as far as like I spent 12 plus years running this team and I care about it and it doesn't just go away like that. And maybe that's therapeutic for Masai because Bobby is still there, that he can still kind of have a little bit of an outlet to talk to him about what's going on with the Raptors. And he's not totally out of the picture. He may be doing this pro bono. Let's just put it that way. Pro you too? Yeah, pro bono and pro edge too. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Kaloy saying, love you, Masai. You did the near impossible and made it impossible for a Canadian team to win. Next step for Scotty is to do this night after night. Yes. That consistency as a superstar, Scott. If you could do this every night, that's where the greats become the greats. Is right there. That's why Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. That's why Kobe was Kobe. And if you want to be those guys, you got to do it on a night-by-night basis where we can pencil you in for a certain amount of production every single night. We know what we're going to get from you to a degree. It may be not exactly the same every night, but we know that you're going to have this kind of impact and this on this and this, and we could get it from you consistently every night. That's the next step. That's exactly right, Kaloy. That's exactly right. Superstardom will come. Be grateful. That's right. That's what I wrote him. I said, that's kind of basically my message to Scott this morning. I said, Merry Christmas. Good job getting the win last night. Now that you know you can do this, let's try and repeat this over and over again. That's kind of the message right there. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. That's right. I got a tree on the show tonight. Today, it's awesome. The tree is in the show. Neil saying NBA is going through an insurgence of shooters that do not have to build a rhythm. This is why they need Grady Dick to get the basics that needs to extend his NBA career. I believe Masai didn't want his seat money going back to Ed. He's keeping every bit of money he earned. Yeah, I don't know about that. Masai and Larry were laughing it up last night. They probably swapped Ed is a dick story after the game. I know I'm hard on Ed Rogers, and I know that in some ways, he's a friend of Donald Trump, and that's despicable in itself. But I think he genuinely is a fan of sports, and that he genuinely does root for the Raptors and the other Toronto teams. You know, we can make up all this kind of stuff about Ed Rogers III, and we don't know the exact truth. You know, when we see the footage of the championship, he's standing right there when we get our championship, and he's smiling really big, guys. You know, when we see the footage of the Raptors at the City Hall for the speeches on the parade day, he's sitting there with Doug Ford and the guy from Bell and Justin Trudeau and all that. But he seems very happy. So I don't know. I have to give Ed Rogers a chance. You know, in some ways, sure, firing Masai pisses me off, and in some ways that's unforgivable. But we have to give him a chance. As the Raptors play and go forward, if we're successful, you know, we have to be like, you know what, Ed Rogers has been an okay owner because we're actually thriving. So we have to have different levels of playing this. In some ways, we don't want to piss Ed so much off that he goes out and raises all our cable bills, which he probably will do. But also at the same time, we want to keep it real and allow for positivity and good things to happen, and not to totally believe that Ed Rogers is out to get us. Because in some ways, it's not in his best interest to fuck up the Raptors, is it? He owns the team and he wants them to make money. Obviously, if he's going to QVC Paul Jones and Mariah Amber every week now, where he's going to put them on for 45 minutes in the evening, buy this Raptors stuff for holidays, stocking stuffers and shit like that they're doing right now. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I bet you Masai, if he wanted to come to a game in Toronto and sit in the same seats, he probably could. In fact, I'll bet you Drake would give him his seats. I'll bet you Drake would. I'll bet you he would. Nate was saying this. Colin has already got a man's body. He looks like a boy amongst men in the paint already. Yeah. Yeah. And this is not normal for a kid his age bracket and year, his experience. His experience is not normal for him to be able to do some of the things he's doing right now. There's a learning curve, and usually there's a strength curve. But in some ways, like people have been saying already, damn, this kid is strong. there's other teams that are finding out just who he is. I mean, I'm sure Bam Adebayo messing around with Colin last night, he was like, wow, this kid's only a rookie. Oh man, we are in trouble. I mean, in some ways, he could be giving some of these older players in the league, okay, I need to retire moments. Just like Steph Curry gave some people when he came in the league, right? Oh, I need to retire now. That's what I think that's what Alvin said. Somebody said that guy showed up on the scene, and all right, yeah, I'm out. I'm too old now. This guy's new, and he's here, and he's like this already. Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm out of here. I'm retired. You know, this brother's gonna be unfair one day. The most hated to play against. What an absolute gem. Yeah. And really covet being on the Raptors, Colin. Seriously, be coveting this. And I know in some ways I get it. You love the Celtics, and I hate this. And in some ways it's too overt, your love of the Celtics. But yeah, we are going to try and keep you here, and you should be a Raptor. And maybe when Colin said fuck at the draft, it was because he realized he's going to a division opponent of his favorite team. That's another thing that I'm starting to realize as part of it is like maybe Colin was like not totally thrilled about going to the Raptors because he ultimately wants to become a Boston Celtic. And in some ways, it's like, man, I hate this kind of shit. I don't like it when players are so overtly glazing a team that's against us. And he is doing that. And that sucks, man. In some ways, I wish his handlers or people would kind of like talk to him about this a little bit. So even if he has this on the down low, he's not just so broadcasting it, because honestly, it looks really bad. And you just showed up, and we want to have a future with you, man. And in some ways, look, you can't be glazing the Celtics so hard, bro. I'll just give you as words of advice. Seriously, they took a picture of him sleeping on the plane. Jacoby Walter, in some ways, I seen him interacting with Colin in ways like he's kind of hazing him as a rookie. Jacoby, he got that last year as a rookie. Well, he's turning it the other cheek, and he's doing it to him now. He's doing it to him. All right, guys, real quick. Straight goods on Canadian goods. It's a Canadian Christmas tomorrow, and I say go buy some Canadian books for somebody for Christmas. We got The Golden Generation and We the Raptors by Eric Smith, Golden Generation by Orrin Weisfeld. two great journalists around the Raptors. And I say these are both great gifts that if you have to get a last minute gift today for Christmas tomorrow, you could go get these books and give this to your basketball fan and your family and your life. And these are books by Canadians, about Canadians, put out by Canadian books. So yeah, We the Raptors, the Golden Generation, great ideas for Christmas. To go out and get it. I'm helping you, Eric Smith. I'm trying to help you. He doesn't need my help. Let's see. Neil saying Colin Murray-Boyles knows how to use his weight. He's uncannily strong. Nameless is saying he's got weight and length in spades. He's got very big, strong hands, and he has very good instincts and very good. He's very nimble for the combination of size and strength. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, him and Scott have a lot in common. They have a lot in common. Let's see. Fiercely saying anyone on our team would make it to the Rising Stars this year. Shed, Colin, don't forget to vote for All-Stars, fam. Well, yeah, I hope that we get two. I hope that we get Colin Murray-Boyles should be there for sure. He should be there for sure. He's been ranked in the top 10 rookies pretty consistently this year so far. So he should be on the rookie team. And if I'm speculating, the other guys is obviously Shed. It's not like Walter's going above and beyond this year to get a spot on that event at All-Star. So I'd say the best chance is Colin. He'll be there. And Shed has an outside chance to make it too as a sophomore. So that's what I hope happens. I hope that happens. Nameless saying dangerous. Colin is dangerous. That's right. Neil saying he used his length to make nice passes last night. Darko has a weapon in the making. He's got a lot of interesting things that make you go, oh, okay, he passes like that. Okay, he's got good court vision. He's got good IQ ideas about what to do on the court. So this is really good. This is good because that's a lot that fleshes out a whole other area that can be very useful and make him multidimensional as a player going forward, man. Chris comes saying Quick needs some point guard lessons from Shed. Yeah, maybe. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I don't think that you guys. IQ's a really smart guy, and in some ways, I think he would be insulted that we're saying he's not a real point guard, because honestly, he's played as a real point guard in his life, as I said, at other levels. And it's just that in some ways, the Knicks, when he came in, he started developing with them. He came as a shooting guard off the bench, 6-man scorer, and now he's pivoting back to kind of being more of a true point guard with us. And that, there's a little bit of a learning curve to that. So, I mean, the template is Maxey, right? How does Maxey balance that himself on the Sixers? And can IQ find that balance similar to Maxey? I mean, the balance is crazy with Maxey, as Maxey scores a lot just himself. But do you think that Maxey's a true point guard? Can he set up his other guys? I don't know. Now, can Emmanuel explode his scoring output to something like Maxey in the next few years? Maybe, if he's in the right situation. But it may not be with the Raptors because Brandon and Scotty and other people are going to take that scoring. And because Joel's out so much and they don't have any and no Paul George, that Maxey has to score like 45 points for the Sixers just to help carry them. And in some ways, we don't want to get in that situation with Emmanuel because that means guys are missing, does that make sense? Colin Murray-Boyles could be as good as Scotty one day. I said it. I don't know. They've got similar traits and similar strengths. Literally, yeah. Wayne saying, Lex, you need to let go of Reddit the same way you ignore modern entertainment. Be consistent. Reddit is associated with Sam Altman, scammer billionaire with Peter Thiel. That's good information. I haven't really been on Reddit a whole lot until recently. It was not a site that I used as much. Part of it is I'm pivoting away from Meta. And in some ways, it's not that I need something to doom scroll or just kind of check. But also at the same time, there is like online stuff you like to check and see news and stuff. And I'm kind of enjoying the format of Reddit right now. But also at the same time, I see what you're saying. And but I'm also seeing that like Facebook, if I'm not going to do anything on Facebook going forward, because I really don't want to, I'd disable and delete my Facebook if it wasn't necessary for a couple of reasons. I really did try to get away from it. That's the reason why I'm not in the Facebook chat during the game as much, because I don't want to support Mark Zuckerberg in that site anymore. And I know I do the Instagram stories and I do I do have the group on Facebook that Monique's running now. But that's the whole reason why I'm pivoting more to Discord and being more active on Discord and talking on there way more than Meta. But also at the same time, I need to collect information and find stuff. And that's why I'm going to Reddit more often nowadays, is to keep in the news and what people are saying. And that's kind of in defiance of turning my back on Meta more and more. My activity on Meta went plummeting this year. Absolutely plummeting. And I'm trying to use it less and less, even more as time goes on. So it's kind of like that right now. Maybe I'll get to the point where I wean myself off of Reddit also. But I haven't really used Reddit that much until this year. And it's really been a replacement for Meta for me. That's why. Yeah. Let's see. Nameless is saying Twins. Cool Cat saying Raptors owners clearly wanted to move on from Larry, Masai to the prime of our championship players. Money they didn't want to spend over winning. Okay. G saying wouldn't be surprised if Masai did some consulting for the tempo. Regardless, he looked happy. Hang on, it jumped, and I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. No more stuff here, guys, just in case. Let's see. Wouldn't be surprised if Masai did some consulting for the tempo. Regardless, he looked happy to watch his team last night. Yeah, well, he still talks to Teresa too. And I'm sure that like Teresa could probably in a friendly way pass something along Masai, and he could give friendly advice to her as a mentor to Teresa Resch. It's not like he's going to lose their phone numbers. He's a mentor to both these people, and they probably very much value his advice very much. Trevor's saying congrats to Pascal Siakam on scoring his 12,000th point last night. Fantastic stuff. Grote continues to go the way like his old vet DeMar DeRozan does. Pascal, if you do it like DeMar in a few years, you might be up there on the all-time NBA career scoring list. If you're consistent and healthy, God willing, bless that man, Siakam, to play many, many years, to get many, many points, just like Debo. And he can be on that list high and looking real good as a Raptors draft pick and a champion and just all that kind of stuff. That's what I say to that. Congratulations, Siakam. We love you. And fantastic stuff, man. Fantastic stuff. That's a banger I want to hear right there. Siakam, 12,000 points. That's right. Neil saying, I voted for Scotty, B.I., RJ, Pascal, and Norm for the East. Yeah, keep voting for Chris Paul. I voted. This was my ballot yesterday. I did this Raptors starting 5. And then in the West, I did Dylan Brooks, Jamal Murray, because I really want Jamal to finally get an all-star. I really do. I feel like he's been so overlooked, and it's just absolutely a travesty that Jamal Murray is not an all-star yet in the NBA yet. It's crazy. I also voted for Zach Edey yesterday, and I threw one to DeRozan yesterday too, just for legacy's sake. Like DeMar DeRozan should get all-star votes. I don't care if he's on Sacramento. He's just that's who he is. So yeah, those were my votes yesterday. Remember to vote all-star every day, guys. Just do it. That's right. Niels voted for SGA, Dylan, Edey, DeMar, and Jamal Murray in the West. That's kind of who I voted for, except you take out SGA and you put in Chris Paul for me. Sue is here. Good to see you playing again, Sue, guys. Merry Christmas, Lex and Raptor Freak family. Look at the awesome Santa she's got and the love. Y'all, check out Sue's channel. She's going strong, years into it, and she just keeps improving. She has all kinds of cool Christmas reactions right now on her music reaction channel. Play it again, Sue. Y'all, seriously, you got to subscribe to Sue's YouTube channel. It's kind of really in the family with the Raptor Freak channel. And Play It Again, Sue's just so fun. And Sue's enthusiasm and breakdown of songs is just a joy to watch. I watch her show all the time. All the time. I'm watching her clips like all during the week, here and there at different times when I get a chance. So Play It Again, Sue. Check it out. And Merry Christmas to you also, Sue. I hope you have a blessed holiday and a blessed, blessed Christmas. Wayne's saying, I want Colin to be the best he can be with his skill set. Only basketball fans keep comparing players' attributes and want this rookie to be like that player. Excuse me, that tells me your knowledge is limited. I think there's value in seeing trends and patterns that are shared by players, but saying that somebody's going to be exactly that person is not true. You know, everybody's a snowflake in this world. We're all very intricately different, and there's no true same person, even if you're identical twin. There's some very differences, I'm telling you. And, you know, that's the same way with player types and player ways. But we all naturally want to make comparisons because we want to understand who the player could grow into be or who they are. And it's just natural for people to make comparisons, but the players hate it. They hate being compared to other people. They're very often just going to say, I am one of one and I am myself. And in some ways, I'm insulted that you say that. But would Colin Murray Boyles be upset that I'm calling him Charles Barkley like? I don't think he would, because in some way, he'd probably want me to call him Larry Bird like more. But you don't shoot threes like Larry, and you're not like Larry. You're more like Charles Barkley, at least as far as what I see. But everybody can look at it different. Yeah. Cool Cat saying this: racism is expensive. Misogyny is expensive. Rise of another superpower will be the result. Cyclical. Look at history. You know, we know as a human race that what's right and wrong. And some of the stuff that's been repeated in history that's absolutely a travesty and crimes against humanity should not be repeated. But unfortunately, it does seem like some of this stuff is being repeated right now. But the great thing is that we're more well-connected than ever. We have all kinds of people that have more power than they used to and more ways to do things. And in some ways, I have a lot of faith that, like the big theory is that this is the big last gasp of the racists and the really awful people, because they know the new world's coming and they're not going to have a place in it in any power or in any kind of way like this. So they're grasping on and they're trying to entrench themselves as the gatekeepers and the ones who will be the overlords in the new era. But if we do this right, we can get a world that we want that's just for everyone. And that's the whole thing. We have to be in this together. And we have to be willing to be uncomfortable and do some things that are going to be very, very tough in the near future to fight for that future. And if we don't do that, these people are going to try and force a future on us that is absolutely not right and not good in certain ways. So, oh man, it's such a crazy time. And I know, and some people say, don't talk about this stuff on this channel, just stick to basketball. But this is so important. And if we don't talk about it, if we don't get more informed, if we don't communicate on these issues, we're going to not be able to handle the things that are coming at us in the right way as the people. So just stay aware and stay ready and think about these things on a deeper level, and think about where you can be a part to help shape the world that you want to see in the future. Because look, I don't have any kids. Whatever, I'll die. And in some ways, it's like, yeah, my niece and nephew, I care about them. But in some ways, I don't have any horse in this race. In some ways, like, yeah, if the world goes to shit and stuff like that, you know, okay, I could easily be as selfish and just say, I don't care. But I do care. And I want the world to be a better place for everybody and not just for a select few. And that's what we got to talk about and figure out. How do we build these new systems that we're going to have to rebuild? New systems, because the world is going to change whether we like it or not. And it's up to us whether we want to reclaim the power and make it in the face of the way that we want to see it. That's what I'm saying right there. It's it right there. Neil's saying this: every starter had 5 or more rebounds last night. That's the way to do it. I like that a lot. That's a great stat. Cool Cat saying Storm and Norman said the young guys are not doing what Coach Spo tells them to do. They blow up the play and do their own thing. That seems like exactly what I saw last night. Seriously. You know, Haskes is a very good player, but some of those young guys are so green and they don't really know what they're doing in the league. I'll bet Kelly Ware is both very intriguing and awesome to watch. And you think, oh, he's awesome, but he's also really frustrating. Absolutely frustrating player. And that's part of the reason why a Mo Bamba or a Kelly Ware, as much as people think they're a good fix, well, did the Heat win last night? And they had that good young stud big man on their side? No, they didn't. So, you know, we got to be really smart about who we invest money in. And we can't get a knucklehead big that's going to go nowhere for us. And that could be Mo Bamba, guys. That could be why it's not so simple as let's just go get Mo Bamba, you know? Kaloy saying, I think we have a very competent coach in Darko. We can see how this young team was ready for the next game after 2 bad losses. And like I said, you guys understand the Brooklyn game was absolutely exhaustion. And if you guys were worried that they're not trying or they're not playing hard, well, you saw what they did last night. And they made sure they won. And that's what matters. Neil's saying this: Quick Shed complements each other's weaknesses. Yeah, it's a great look. I mean, you don't start it, but you definitely close with it. You definitely close with it because it's working. It's working. Raptors champ saying Brandon told Darko to keep battling because he was hot. Salute to BI. So yeah, in some ways they could have played Brandon late, but he that's self-sacrifice. So kudos to Brandon for taking a step aside and allowing Jameson to get some of his minutes in the crunch time. because he was hot. And honestly, Brandon's leading the league in minutes. We probably do need to do this if we get that chance to. And Brandon's not exactly having the best night. He wants to get the plays. He wants to play 82, but that doesn't mean he has to play 40 minutes every game. And, it may be wise to maybe not load manage him from missing games, but load manage him with the minutes as the season goes on. And if it's not necessary to play Ingram late in the game because Grady or Jacoby or Battle are shooting well, I like that he did this. And he called me and said, yeah, you know what? I'll go ahead and just take a chill for a little while. You go ahead and put Jameson in. That's very self-sacrifice. And it says a lot about Ingram and what he wants. He doesn't want his stats. He wants the team to win. And that's a good thing right there. I love that. Raptors champs, always. That's right. Champions, 2019. Let's go get the second one. That's right. Neil saying beef stew is crazy in the post. Players bounce off of him. Yeah, and they bounce off of Colin too. G saying, yes, beef stew is a good comparison, but Colin shoots more like OG and versatile on defense like him too. So he's a hybrid of some good players. Yeah, the offense is way better than Isaiah Stewart, but you can see the toughness and the presence of Colin could be very similar to him in some ways. Yeah, he doesn't have an exact prototype. He's a nice combo. Yeah, and none of them do. They're all different players. Neil's saying Colin can play 3 through 5. He can't play the 5 totally yet, but he will soon. Watch. You just got to become more knowledgeable on how to do it. Yeah, you're not being hard on Wiggins. You don't think I'm being hard on Wiggins? Okay, I appreciate that. Mr. Quasimodo saying at this point in the season, what's the similarities and differences between this season and 2019 season? Fuck the Celtics. I like that. You want to dunk? You're going to dunk just for saying fuck the Celtics, just out of the blue. Where's Mr. Quasimodo? he's getting a dunk for that one for sure. Are you not on here yet, man? You should be on here. What the hell? What is this, Lex? What are you doing, man? You got to give more dunks to people. I think I've not been giving them enough dunks. So Mr. Quasimodo's getting a big dunk right now for saying fuck the Celtics, just out of the blue. He didn't even have to say that. He just said it. The similarities with this team and the 2019, there's not really good ones. Because honestly, that team in 2019 was very veteran, and they were at a whole other level on the escalator going to the Larry O'Brien. And we are not at that point. I mean, you got to talk about the crazy veterans we had on that team. So I would say our team right now is more like the 2015 or 16 Toronto Raptors than the 2019. So give us a couple years and we'll be there. That's right. Maxey is so nasty. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Seymour's saying, I was just gifted a Raptors basketball and net. I put it up in my warehouse, shoot hoops, and listen to Raptor Freaks. Man, that's a real one right there. All right, Seymour, you want to dunk? You go dunk it on the goal while I give you a dunk on the stream. Yeah, you go run over there and dunk it real quick while you're at work. That's awesome, man. That must be a fun warehouse to work in. I'm going to give a dunk to Seymour's boss also for allowing this. 267 dunks for Seymour and the 6 for Seymour's boss. Yeah, Seymour's boss just got an extra dunk. They've got 2 dunks this year. They're at 6. Corey Joseph 6. That's funny, man. Breakaway rim. Oh, damn. Next to the Gamma 11 Jordans. This is my favorite present so far. That's awesome. Did you just get this while we were on the air? That's awesome. Randolph's here. Beloved Raptor Freaks family, blessings and Merry Christmas to one and all. Celebrate safely and enjoy every moment with your loved ones. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. Love. Yeah, don't let all the consumerism and all the other stuff that they put in your face. Don't feel bad if you're not buying gifts for people. Don't feel bad if you can't do that financially or any of that kind of stuff. Don't feel bad if you don't have a lot of people to be around right now. I'm spending my Christmas with Adriana. As soon as I get done with this stream, I'm getting in the truck and I'm driving to go pick her up and bring her back here. And she's getting a break from her family. Her family's going off in different directions and doing different things with other in-laws. And well, she's decided to spend Christmas with me. And that's very special because my family's in Atlanta and I would be here by myself if she wasn't coming out here. So it's going to be very nice. It's just going to be a nice little private Christmas just with her and I. And we're just going to watch YouTube and spend time together and just because we don't get to see each other very often. And so this will be a very special Christmas, just a special Christmas to share with her and just her and I. And yeah, the reason for the season is the birth of Christ. And never forget that. It's not about getting the bottom line for corporations up by spending in a frenzy. It's not about fighting people at box stores, big box stores to get a new PlayStation or a TV. No, none of that shit was what matters. It's about being with your family, your loved ones, sharing some food and joy with them and singing some songs and, just that kind of stuff. Everything that has to do with money with Christmas doesn't have to happen. And also the other thing I want to make people aware of is the holiday seasons are an increase in garbage. And there's so much environmentalist kind of stuff that happens with Christmas that just doesn't have to happen. So you have a green Christmas, like I'll use this tree every day. I mean, every year, and I won't throw it out. It's plastic and I'll just keep it and I'm not going to put it out. If you have a tree, put it in your yard. Don't put it out for pickup unless you don't have a yard. You can put the tree in your yard and it's actually really beneficial to the animals in your yard. Just make sure you take all the tinsel and everything off of it. But yeah, just like with Halloween, cobwebs and tinsel and stuff, they can be damaging to animals in the wild. So think about your environmental impact this holiday season with wrapping paper and all kinds of different stuff. And, don't shop the big box stores. Go buy local. Support your friends, small businesses. Do all that kind of stuff first. And, we can improve things because there's so much waste that's derived from the holiday season. And some of it's absolutely unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. That's right. That's right. Salute RJ. We want him back as soon as possible. That's right. W your day. That's right, Isaac Campbell. That's right. Let me run it down real quick. My stars of the game were Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles, Sandro Mamu, Jamison Battle, and Manuel Quickly. That's right. I'm not going to do Raptors Reddit in honor of our friend that told me not to do it, Wayne Strainer, anymore. Check your Raptor Freak fantasy teams. There's no games today. So you got a day off. There will be games tomorrow. So get your lineup set tomorrow. Happy birthday to 2019 NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors, Eric Moreland. Eric Moreland is having his birthday today. Of course, he's the one who famously dated Larsa Pippen while he was winning the championship with us. He's 34 years old. He is still currently professionally playing in Guangdong for the Southern Tigers. He's been playing in China pretty much since the Raptors championship year. That year, he's a 3-time CBA champion also. So happy birthday to Eric Moreland, our third center for our championship team, guys. We had 3 centers at that time, remember? You guys remember Eric? Eric actually only played 4 games for the Raptors in the regular season. He did play in the playoffs, I believe, for us too, a little bit. Yeah, he played 3 games in the playoffs also. So, he played 8 games in the playoffs for us. He played more games in the playoffs than he played during the regular season for us. So, yeah, happy birthday to Raptors champion Eric Moreland on his birthday today. Guys, let's get that classic card in, and let's get the heck out of here. So I'm get on the road and go get Adriana. That's right. Let's make it a good one here. All right, who did we get? Oh, beautiful. That's exactly who I wanted today. Guys, get it while you can. If you can see who he is from there, you go ahead and write it in. I'll bring it closer. Full name answer. Slug DZ, you on this? I think this one's pretty easy, guys. It's coming fast. If you can get it, full name answer. That's right, Isaac Campbell. That is the great DeMar DeRozan. A GROAT, in my opinion, for sure. Look at that beautiful rookie DeMar DeRozan Panini card. I'm keeping this one. This is a rookie DeMar. Holy crap, I got a rookie DeMar, guys. Holy crap. No, I have to keep this one, guys. I'm sorry. This one won't be in the box. Yeah. All right, so Isaac, you're going to get 10 points for that one? I don't know. I feel like I should do you better than that. I'm going to give you 100. 100 points for getting the great GROAT DeMar DeRozan today on Christmas Eve. Good job, Isaac Campbell. The benevolent one. I'm going to be benevolent to you in this holiday season. 'Tis the season for giving. 100 points for Isaac Campbell for getting the Raptors rookie card, DeMar DeRozan. Look at that badass card. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Rookie DeMar, man. Rookie DeMar. Woo-wee. I love it. All right, remember, guys, if you need a gift still, go to the bookstore and buy one of these books for your friend or your loved one that you need a gift. We the Raptors by Eric Smith or The Golden Generation by Orrin Weisfeld. Both great choices. Basketball, Canada basketball books. All right, thanks for watching me today. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Festivus. Whatever you celebrate. Christmas Eve is here. And tomorrow, I won't be doing a regular show. You guys know what my Christmas tradition is. I'll have a performance for you guys. It'll be about a 5-minute clip. And I'll just do it in the morning and I'll sing it for you guys. And you guys are going to enjoy it. So look forward to me tomorrow. You don't have to be live because honestly, it's a very quick in and out kind of, I'm going to just jump on, do the song, and I'm going to leave. And I really don't want a whole lot of comments. So I hope you'll enjoy my song tomorrow. My first song I ever did was the 12 Days of Christmas, according to Masai Ujiri. You can find it in my archive. When we did Frosty the Snowman, which was OG Let's Go Man. And we did the first Noel with Marquise Noel. And we also did last year the O Tannenbaum in honor of Larry Tannenbaum and this passing of the torch and the ownership to Ed Rogers. And that was a very good song last year too. So I hope you guys will enjoy my song tomorrow, my Raptors Christmas Carol that I've written for you guys. And you'll see the great Weird Al talent that I have, my Yankovic. I'll show you my Yankovic. That sounds dirty. Either way, Merry Christmas, y'all. And let's go Raptors. Let's go Santa. How about that? Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors.